Demarian courtier. Okay.
Say it in French.
I will.
Courtier.
Gautier. Ambassador d'Abel.
Oh my god. I don't know French, you guys.
It's okay.
Welcome to Recapping Romantasy, hot takes on hot literature. Who are we?
We are me, Emma.
I am Tabitha.
And I am Maura. Recapping Romantasy contains mature content from fairy smut to dragon rider torture to monster genitalia. Be sure to check the episode notes for content warnings and the links to our socials. So today we are here to talk about Behooved by M. Stevenson. When this book was announced, I put it in the group chat with a pleading, please, can I read this all in caps? So it's like completely insufferable. And I'm sure Tabitha and Emma are humoring my horse girl needs right now because I had to do this book for the podcast. So Behooved screams My Lady Jane fanfic. If you are a My Lady Jane fan, as I am, and have mourned the loss of a second season, this one's for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I watched the first few episodes and then fell off because I can't finish something in one. Like, if I can't finish something in one sitting, I'll never finish it. But I thought, this probably isn't a fanfic. It's probably just a weird, like, coincidence of some sort. And then I got to the one bed scene where Bianca goes, oh, like the O and then the O italicized. And I thought, okay.
So Ali Hazelwood.
Yeah. Which she was a fanfic writer, like huge fanfic indicator right there. Red flag for fanfic. So maybe it is a fanfic, or it was one of some sort. I don't know. That's not to say that this is like why I have lots of thoughts about this. I mean, I love fanfic. A lot of great fanfic authors got their start with fanfic. I mean, we did a whole episode about it. We just talked about Ali Hazelwood. And anyways, I'm going to stop now so we can talk about this book.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's fanfic or not, but it definitely reads as fanfic for My Lady Jane. But,
if you know for sure.
Yeah, if anyone knows for sure, please, M. Stevenson, let us know. So anyway, leaping right in here with chapter 1, our heroine is Bianca. She is the daughter of aristocrats of House Liliana in a country called Demaria.
I find her name annoying because it's Bianca Liliana of Demaria. It just sounds like a character from Sophia the First.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a Disney show for children.
Yeah, that's fine. So Bianca's parents have never shown parental love and want to marry her off to the new king of Gildenheim, which is a country to the north, to avoid war between Gildenheim and Demaria. Important to note, there is this thing called the Adept Guild that trains Demarians with magical potential so they can basically make technology. Like, think everything from lamps to firearms. Magic in this world is basically kind of sciencey, I guess.
Like I said, it's so hard writing the notes for this podcast because you have to info dump in the first chapter.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, okay, guys, keep these things in mind moving forward. This and this and this and this.
Yeah, we're going to go through a few long paragraphs here, but then it's going to get shorter and shorter as my podcast leads tend to go. But anyway, Gildenheim's new king is power hungry, planning to increase their mining and logging in that country, and wants access to the exclusive market of Demarian technology. And Demaria's like, LOL, no, but we will offer you a treaty and a Demarian's hand in marriage. So Bianca's hand is the one they're speaking about here. Bianca has an illness that is mysterious, but after she agrees to marry the king, her mother tells her that she has to hide this illness at all costs, because once Gildenheim knows, they will destroy her.
Which honestly now seems like a weird projection on her parents' part. But also, if you think that this mystery illness ever gets explained, it does not.
No.
The way they talk about it, I thought it was going to be, like a magical illness, like a curse placed on her. But I don't know.
No, I had to reread the first chapter because I was like, maybe I missed the explanation in here somewhere. No.
Yeah.
No. It's just, I'm sick.
Really never.
We're moving on.
No, yeah, we'll just move on. Just know that that's going to be like presenting itself almost every chapter. So back in Bianca's room, she takes her tonic to stave off another flare-up of her condition, that she calls it. and asks her apothecary, Giulietta, to come with her to Gildenheim. Then her sister Tatiana shows up to yell at her about why she's making this decision. It's understood that Tatiana is the stronger of the two sisters and is being saved for House Liliana, whereas Bianca is expendable as the weaker sister. Tatiana is also a lesbian, whereas Bianca is bi, and therefore a better fit to be married to a man, which is reasonable.
Yeah, I also had to laugh at the fact that her parents are choosing to marry off Bianca, not just because her sister's a lesbian, but also because Tatiana's like mean. She's a mean lesbian, according to her parents. Lesbian. That's why. Yeah, Bianca. Okay, so Bianca has a lot of hang-ups about her strength, and that's going to be going through the book in a severe way. So anyway, Tatiana's like, fine, if I can't convince you to stay and risk our countries going to war, take this necklace I have magically imbued with power to protect you from harm. But it only works once, because that's how shit rolls in books, okay? So anyway, they sail to Gildenheim, and Bianca is vomiting over the side of the ship every few minutes. She pauses briefly so her ex, Catalina, who is now her guard, can yell at her about how this is a stupid decision. Doesn't she know the king has probably had his mom murdered to take the throne, and that the royals of Gildenheim practice blood magic? It's spooky. But Bianca is like, look, Catalina, I don't need this shit. I'm marrying the king, and that's the end of it. Also, before you start thinking this is a love triangle, we are informed that Catalina is engaged to a nice woman back home, which effectively takes her off the market in a romance. So I don't think I need this many people asking Bianca if this is the right choice. No. It's not as if she had much of a choice. Her parents said yes for her, and asking her for her consent was merely a formality. She either gets married to the dude or refuses, and it's not like she can refuse because of the war thing. So like, what the fuck, y'all? Why are we asking her if this is the right decision? Yeah, I was really annoyed that the first 3 chapters were just like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, she's okay with the decision. Like, she has to do it. It's an arranged marriage for political reasons. She's nobility of some sort. Like, is this not expected of her? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. They need to like feel better about it. Why do they keep asking her? I don't know. Yeah. Just commiserate with her, vent with her, and then let her move on.
Right. And like, really, what were they expecting her to say? I wonder.
Right. No,
like,
I don't want to.
No,
marry
I'm not
him.
okay with this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so
I'm gonna go run away.
Yeah, let's run away to another country together, and then whatever. If people die, they die.
Yeah. Fuck them.
I found the storyline about Catalina to be kind of confusing because it almost seems like they're setting them up for reconciliation.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not. We are told that Bianca broke up with Catalina because her parents never would have approved of it, and she brings this up multiple times in the book. There was a point when I thought maybe she should just wait until she gets over her ex.
Yeah, but that's also like it kind of goes into the whole she doesn't have a choice part. So it's like, and then on top of that, it's like the whole point of the book and the whole theme of it is that she doesn't feel strong enough and she's got to do her duty, and there's a lot of turmoil around that. So I think the whole point of the first half is basically her just needing to get married to this dude and consummate the marriage, if that makes sense, because she has to do her duty for House Liliana. Otherwise she's a weak, sad, frail, awful daughter.
Yeah, I feel like they talk about, because it doesn't really get explained why she broke up with Catalina until like later,
yeah,
like until 50, like more than 50% through. So the first half, I had the same thought as Tabitha, which is like, are they gonna get back together?
Yeah. Oh, well, the second that they brought in Catalina, I was just like, is this gonna be a weird love triangle that I wasn't prepared for?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, we arrive in Arnhelm, Gildenheim's capital, which is located between the mountains and the sea. Obviously the best of both worlds. Picturesque, no notes. But all Bianca sees is gray skies and gray stone and gets depressed. Demaria would be full of color by now. Whoa. The book makes a point here of saying Bianca only shows up with 6 soldiers and her personal apothecary. But don't worry, she's perfectly safe. Bianca has to get off the ship first because of reasons, but the gangway is super narrow and she's still getting over her seasickness. Then a man in a carriage shows up that she thinks is Aric, the man she's supposed to marry. She gets distracted by waving at him, and then she topples face first into the harbor.
I listened to the audiobook, and it is just now reading these proper nouns that I noticed the author is doing a Demaria equals Mediterranean and Gildenheim equals Northern Europe thing.
Yeah, it does feel very fictional Europe.
IA endings are derived from Latin, and Helmheim endings are derived from Germanic.
There you go.
Oh.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Also,
Did you pick up on that at all?
also, in the audiobook, they said his name is Aric.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was surprised when I saw in the text that it starts with an A because they just said Aric.
Yeah, I've been going with Aric the entire time.
I have been in my head because there wasn't an audiobook available to me. I searched for one. When I was reading it in my head, I was like flip-flopping between Aric and Aric depending on what my brain wanted. So
Yeah.
I'm glad someone got the audiobook.
I mean, if she wanted to name him Aric, she could have just
She
fucking
said
named him
Aric.
Aric.
Yeah, but starting it with an A is more...
Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's very fantasy-ish. I'm sorry. I'm still saying Aric because that's where my brain is.
Do what you
and
need to do.
I yield for no one. So anyway, the dude fishes her out, and he's not Aric, you guys, but Lord Varen, merely a humble courier of the heir apparent, he says. And she's like, what the fuck? Arndt won't even send someone important to get me? There will be hell to pay. Anyway, she's real big in her feels about this slight and basically starts plotting her revenge as soon as she gets into the carriage.
I don't know, guys. It feels like maybe he did meet her at the dock for safety reasons. He's the heir to the throne, and he hasn't been coronated yet. And there are rumors going around that he's this power-obsessed recluse who killed his mom for the throne. Doesn't feel like the time to be parading around in a public place. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do.
Is that not the logical conclusion? Or,
Yeah.
or maybe he's just busy preparing for a wedding and then a coronation.
I'm trying to think of
Am I
any...
thinking too logically?
Any media where I think like with the new queen coming to like the castle or whatever, and the actual king is there to greet her at the gate, which I don't think I've ever seen that.
I mean, we're also talking about airports, which are a little more,
Yeah.
I don't know, secluded,
Sure.
easier to secure.
Yeah.
In a port area, there's
port.
shit coming in all over the place.
Yeah.
Pirates specifically.
Can you imagine? Different book that would have been.
Yeah.
Pirates coming everywhere.
Coming everywhere.
So Bianca is shown to her rooms. Literally, no one is there to give her the pomp and circumstance she thinks that she deserves,
I know.
but realizes that it's probably good because she looks like a drowned rat. Catalina does a sweep of her rooms for booby traps. I don't know why there would be any, but while Bianca notices the fire is green in the fireplace, which is like weird. But then they go back to orange and she thinks she's just imagining things. Bianca must primp, so we have some primping that we have to do. There will be a welcome ball this evening as her first formal public appearance. She notices some books on the table. A history of conflict in the peninsula, tales for sleepless children, and an old-fashioned pamphlet that she can't understand or has no clue why it's even there. Bianca starts reading way too much into these books and is like, why is Aric playing 5-dimensional chess with me like this? She looks at the tapestries in the room, one of which shows a Pegasus with a crown, which I thought was important foreshadowing, but I guess was actually just a coincidence. I'm still not sure about this.
Yeah.
And then the other tapestry shows a green witch or a wild magic user, which suggests green witches are far more powerful than Demaria has ever recognized. You see, Demaria is all about training the shit out of their adepts until they are brainwashed tools of the state, and Gildenheim is all about wild, free magic. Demaria would never tolerate this sort of magic use.
I feel like this could be a metaphor for the spread of Christianity to Northern Europe.
Yeah, for sure you can. Demaria is like the Holy Roman Empire, and Gildenheim is like the pagan Baltic states. And I was thinking about the Northern Crusades a lot.
None of those thoughts crossed my head. Like, you guys are so smart. Sometimes I'm like, what world do we live in?
I don't think the author's doing it deliberately.
No, I think it might be an accidental thing.
The only thought I had towards the end was like, this feels a little bit like capitalism just consuming and like standardizing everything in order to monopolize stuff. But that was like way late and after I'd read your Christianity reference. So not an original thought.
Ambassador de Paz, a Demarian courtier, comes to visit her. He's like, I'm here to escort you to the ball. I'm sure you haven't had time to familiarize yourself with the castle. And somehow Bianca translates this into yet another slight by Aric, another attempt to insult her.
Like, listen, she needs to chill the fuck out. Like, we literally just had a conversation about how we all overthink things. Like, I had a whole conversation with my therapist yesterday about how I need to stop thinking.
I ranted for an hour about how my check engine light came on the way here.
Yep, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. My car's running
all
fine.
Everything is fine.
However,
Nothing's
I
gonna
might
happen.
die on the way home.
No,
She
you're
will
gonna
not.
be fine.
She will not.
Can you imagine how hot it would be standing in front of a burning car in this heat wave?
I know.
That's going to be me. It's going to be me on the way home.
That, and then the other thought that I had is, I'm not going to say it. Never mind.
Why not? Say it.
Well, because it's going to make her spiral.
Oh, no.
What if she does die and then we have to come on this podcast and say, well, rip to Tabitha. She was right.
We had to retire them.
If I do die, that would be the best outcome. I'd feel real justified.
This is what she would have wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, just right on my tombstone. She was right.
When is she not? Fuck.
We'll have to do one of those little gifts where it's just her like with her favorite gifts, like one of those little
my
URL codes.
God.
Oh my god!
We
Yeah.
should put like a TV on your tombstone, and it's just all the gifts,
Uh-huh.
and then it'll be instead of your face, it's just that one emoji that you always send, which is like
Oh, yeah.
the really disgusted, judgy face.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Put it in your will, Tabitha. We'll do it for you.
she needs to chill the fuck out. Like, I am the queen of overthinking. I think everyone in this room is. But again, he's a king to be. He's got shit to do. Like, I hate that I'm defending a man, but here I am.
Yeah, I
and I do it a lot.
I was also like, this girl needs to maybe bring it down several notches.
Truly.
Like, yes. Did she think that maybe he was planning to meet her at the ball?
Maybe, fine.
Yeah, but no, she's just like, I'm so super pissed off that he's not here in any shape or form. It's just like, but also you're royalty now,
And someone's going to help you around an unfamiliar place, and you're like, wow, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them that they wouldn't know I know the layout of the castle the second I walk in
Since when did
here.
royalty do anything for themselves? He's
Nothing.
going to have a
They
servant
have
do it
servants
for him.
everywhere. Yeah. God.
So anyway, Bianca asks Paz about the tapestry, and he tells her it's a local folktale about the Lady of the Wilds who made a pact with the deities and promised to protect the wild places. The Lady of the Wilds is why Gildenheim won't open their iron mines or log their forests, which were things the king said he wanted to pillage in the treaty with Demaria, which is super confusing. There are historically dirty tree huggers in this place, as it turns out, which is confusing to Bianca. Yeah, they're pagans. Anywho, yeah.
It's hot. That's why we all can't talk.
I know. We
It's
are
like
in
100 degrees.
We're in a barely air-conditioned building right now. There's a lot going on in our lives. I also had a cop yell at me because I tried to drive into a parade route today.
She's had a time, you guys.
She wasn't doing it like in a mean way. She was just trying to get places.
I was trying to get out of a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I didn't run over children or anything.
She would have. I'm just kidding.
Happily. Oh my god. Okay. Anywho, they go to the ball, and Bianca meets Aric. He is blue-eyed and blonde. The horror.
I really missed this blonde descriptor. I just zoomed right past it.
Well,
why are we making adult men blonde?
this is not the first
Most
time you've
people,
done that.
I know, but
I will
most
say
people grow out of being blonde.
I was gonna say I will say it is an interesting choice because I feel like in our current romantic
I had the same thought.
book climate, a lot of women do not like blonde men.
No.
Yeah.
I personally don't get it. I like them pale.
Yeah, I know.
The paler, the better.
I am actually very, very close to finally, after 2 years, finishing Baldur's Gate. And I'm not going to lie, still 500 hours in, I look at Astarion and I'm like, yeah.
He's got white hair, though. That's different.
That is. So men in
come on.
romantasy can be either super dark, almost black hair, or silver, almost white. That is that's what you can have.
Yeah. Listen.
What do you guys think of as blonde then? Do you think of like yellow hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the cover. He's got yellow hair. I thought it was a girl at first. When
Same.
I saw the cover.
I
was
know.
like, all right.
I thought this was going to be a sapphic
I've
romance
also been
originally.
doing this thing where I don't read the descriptions of these books when you pick them. I just go in blind. So I have no
Amazing.
idea what's happening. So finally, when I looked at the cover, I also read the description, which was like 60% through. And I was like, oh, so that's not another girl.
Do you think it was Catalina all this
Yeah,
time?
I did. I was like, there's going to be another girl. This girl's bi on purpose.
Amazing.
Great. No.
So you were really expecting that love triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing. Okay.
And also, guys, he's blue-eyed and blonde.
He's like
I
Icelandic.
thought, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I thought you were going, when you were talking about today's climate, I thought you were talking about like, it's kind of like Aryan-esque.
I just mean it's something I hear a lot on social media. Like women do not care for blonde men.
Oh yeah, all the TikToks. It's just like, ew, blonde.
Yeah.
I think it could work, but
Yeah, it doesn't bother
It's
me,
not
but
for
also
me.
I never fuck with men, so it doesn't really matter. It's all
No.
about aesthetics to me.
Yeah. Okay. They must dance. Bianca is still seething that he doesn't even bother with niceties. His dancing is rigid and unwelcoming. Hers is aggressive and pushy. She manages to give us something about him. Quote, his beauty was like a dagger, sharp, narrow, best admired from a distance, end quote. I'm not sure what this means, but okay. He does have circles under his eyes, so clearly he's stressed.
I just need everyone to know that I've been slowly losing it over here because someone has put a picture of Waluigi in these notes with literally no context.
I thought it was obvious. Like, what can I say? His beauty is like a dagger, sharp, narrow, and best admired from a distance.
That pink
Plus, he's got eye
nose.
bags.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me why I immediately thought of Waluigi, I can't answer that.
You said you were here for aesthetics.
Yeah.
These are the aesthetics.
Yeah. If only he was blonde.
If only. That's
He's got the hat on, so you can't tell.
Yeah.
He does. It does look like he has like light brown sideburns.
He
though.
does.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Do you think he dyes his eyebrows and mustache then?
Well, why is his nose so pink?
I know. I had that same thought. I also was thinking when I saw this picture that when I was little, I had a Game Boy Color and we had a Wario game. I don't know why. And the whole game you played as Wario.
Interesting.
And I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, why was that a game made? Isn't he a bad guy?
He is, yeah.
Like anti-hero type game? I don't know. Anyways.
So he asks her why she's wearing a dagger in her sleeve, and she has a witty rejoinder. And then he asks if she plans to bring weapons into the bedchamber, and she throws another rejoinder at him. Quote, I thought the bedchamber was for swords, unquote.
Good one.
Yeah. Anyway, she asks when he'll be crowned, and he's like, you seem awful eager to be queen. And she's like, no, I'm simply curious when we're going to get married. And he's like, tomorrow, obviously. So tell your council that I keep my promises. Then he leaves her to dance with whoever she wants in a fuck off sort of way. And she's like, well, shit, he hates me.
But does he? I don't know. I think I've watched Pride and Prejudice too many times. And after finishing this book, literally like 20 minutes before I got here. Don't know if you guys caught on to that.
Very fresh.
Yeah.
Once I asked if we could all get our notes in 48 hours
I
before
know.
we record.
Don't remember those
When I pulled
halcyon
up,
days.
I was like, I'm late and I just finished my notes. Tabitha's going to hate me. And I made her pick up snacks for me.
And get stuck in a parade.
Yeah. Fried food and I have a bellyache.
And we don't even have internet right now.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
So
There's no
Yeah,
AC.
we're-
It's hot. There's no internet.
We're recording on Audacity offline and looking at the notes on our phones all in airplane mode. So it's a great
Yeah.
day. Great day.
and it's hot.
It's the Lord's
it's
day.
Hot.
And Tabitha's car could explode.
Yeah.
So we'll find out how things go tomorrow. Lord Varen swoops in for a dance. They chat about how Demaria has moved away from the relics of monarchy. Then she's like, hey, you look like Aric. Are you related? And he's like, actually, yeah, I'm the queen's bastard. And Bianca notes that in Demaria, Varen would be the better candidate to rule. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, real love interest potential here, but also
Well, other than
He's
the
blonde.
evil.
Yeah. it's
well,
medieval.
I didn't pick up on that until like literally the end. I mean, I did, but I wanted him to be a love interest.
I honestly did too. Because I kept thinking there's like so many love triangle potentials here. Yeah.
But all these people get introduced once and then they're gone for like most of the book.
For most of the book. Yeah.
It's just her and a horse.
Yeah. Yes. Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
So anyway, Bianca sees Aric is reading like on the dais with his on the throne.
Good for him.
Which she is appalled by, and notes a woman standing nearby him that is scowling at her. She asks Varen about her and learns that she is Captain Maria Dai, the commander of Aric's personal guard. Varen suggests to her that Maria and Aric be fucking. Later, back in her rooms, Bianca is celebrating her mostly successful ball. Then she muses about why Aric even wants a wife if he has a lover, and what's the rush. She posits that...
Like that's ever stopped a
I
kid.
know.
I know, right? Like, okay, yeah, sure. She posits that maybe he's angling to start a war with Demaria and expanding his power. She thinks he never intended to marry her and is surprised she showed up. Or maybe he's trying to goad her into refusing to marry him so she can start a war. I don't know. This section was entirely inner monologue, and Bianca thinks way too much.
Yeah, yeah.
As I have already stated in this episode, as a person with a lot of anxiety, I can't stew about things because I'll just drive myself insane. So social uncertainty is one of these things. And
Yeah.
I always find it really frustrating when it happens in these books, when somebody like assumes something and doesn't discuss it with the person.
Yeah.
If I was about to marry someone who clearly hated me, I would follow them to the room, kick open their door, and ask, "What is your deal?" Just so we could like get it all out into the open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do think that's also, you have this like really special skill of being confrontational.
Yeah,
A real
you do.
talent for it, I think.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. I'm impressed by it every time.
Yeah.
I strive to be more confrontational. I would definitely be Bianca in this piece,
God.
which is, I think he's mad at me. I would never talk about it. I would just do it. But also, I don't know if I'd be like, wow, he's going to start a war because he only danced with me once.
Yeah.
Chill out, girl.
Yeah,
The
I think-
treaty is signed.
She hasn't really thought about the fact that she has walked in here being super aggressive and
Yeah.
mean. It's just like, let's reflect upon our own actions. She's not doing that at all.
When does the note happen? Is it next chapter?
The what?
The note, when she gets like a note and she's
Oh.
like, fuck you, how dare you send me
Oh,
a
yeah.
note to go to breakfast?
That is the next chapter.
You're a
It's
cunt. Whoa, girl.
Like, I don't.
That's like, is that not her energy?
she is walking in with an energy that is basically fuck you.
Yeah.
And granted, she can feel that way. She was strong-armed into this.
Yeah, but
then to
that's-
act like she's like
She
expecting
told
better
everyone she
treatment.
was cool with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Tabitha.
that's what I mean, is that she has nothing to lose. Like, she already thinks he hates her. He's already being like kind of mean to her. She already has to go through with this wedding no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just ask him like, what's up? You don't seem to want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's basically the conversation they end up having a couple chapters later
Yes.
after everything goes bad.
Yes.
And they clear it up. So like, we could have cleared it up right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. They could have made this a little bit faster by having that conversation earlier.
The book is quite fast, though.
It is quite fast.
Yeah.
It is quite fast for genuinely not that much happening.
Which is,
No,
I mean, basically, this whole book is a road trip.
Yeah.
It's a road trip. It's a road trip with a horse, as we already mentioned.
Just her and her horse.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, wedding day is upon us. Bianca wakes up to a flare in her condition. She stays in bed and gets a note from Aric that asks if she'll deign to show up for breakfast. Pissed, she writes back that if he wants her to show up somewhere, he has to ask in person. Super mature. He sends back a circlet for the ceremony that he expects her to wear. She's disappointed he didn't apologize, but I'm not sure what he needs to apologize for, since he doesn't know what the hell is up with her and thinks she's snubbing him, right? Right?
Okay. I have to say something. I've been thinking it the whole time. This book uses really weird words sometimes. And I know I'm like the idiot in this room always.
That is not necessarily true.
Thank
Emma.
you. But I went through and I highlighted any word that I had to look up.
Okay.
There's like 20. And I like to think I have a pretty good vocabulary, but there's like randomly like SAT words in there. Not SAT, I should say like GRE words to make myself feel better.
What didn't you understand here?
No, not here. Well, no, in this specific word. Just why use the word circlet? Just use like a little crown. I feel like this author was trying to be this is a
No,
bad
I think
example.
circlet gives a completely different vibe than a crown.
Yeah. Is it like a crown without any spikes?
That's how I think of it, yeah. Like
Okay.
a circlet sits lower on the head, a crown sits upward on the head.
My problem.
So they prepare for the wedding. Her dress is white, which she thinks is drab. In Demaria, she would have color. The ceremony involves blood magic. They are now bound together after cutting their hands and bleeding into a cup of wine. Then they both drink it. So that's gross.
But it does depend on whether this world has bloodborne pathogens.
Okay, I literally, that's all I could think. This,
Yeah.
I was like, thank God someone
know.
else thought this. I was like, you're going to contract a bloodborne pathogen.
Yeah, I know. That's all I could think. I'm like, what could possibly happen?
Yeah.
And we find out there are consequences of this. So anyway, when the magic makes Bianca woozy.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not AIDS.
Yeah.
No. It's not AIDS. It's not AIDS. I promise, though, there are consequences in book,
Or
but
like
it's
what?
not AIDS. The magic makes Bianca woozy, and she falls. Aric catches her. They argue over why she didn't know about the blood magic. She didn't go to breakfast. He didn't show up in person to tell her, which it all seems dumb. Aric guides her to their thrones, and Bianca notices the cut on her hand has healed already into this thin gold line. They have to meet everyone at court now, and Aric insists she drink some water because she looks like shit. Afterward, they must do the fucking. Aric is like, let's just get this over with. And Bianca is tired of this whole attitude and demands respect. He's like, on top of all your other demands, that's rich. And she's like, what demands? And now you understand that things are not on the up and up. She tells him if he wanted something specific from her, he should have said so before making war threats. And he's like, what the fuck? Before they can hash this all out, someone bursts into the room with a sword.
Again, these are all questions that could have been answered by having her kick open his door the previous night and demanding to know why the vibes were off.
Yeah. She's also just rude to him at like every turn. I know I already yelled about this, but I mean, I know that he's a love interest, so eventually they'll like each other. So like that, we already know that in the back of our heads, but he really hasn't done anything ridiculous to her besides like threaten to go to war with her country, which their neighbor. listen, okay.
Besides threatening war, he hasn't really done anything.
Because we don't, it's a rumor. Which they're neighboring lands and not necessarily strong allies, right? So that seems pretty normal in my mind.
Yeah,
not good normal, but like also we're just like seconds away from World War III at any moment for like the past decade. So maybe I'm just like too cynical about all that.
I think it would have helped if we'd known a bit more about Gildenheim going into it.
Thrown into this book.
We don't get a whole lot of background.
The things I talk about in this is that this book is really more about Bianca's self-actualization than it is about plot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff we don't know. Also, I think I'm thinking about this too hard, but
just like Bianca.
I think Bianca's attitude in this book,
sucks.
The way she's immediately so antagonistic, could be a product of where we currently are as a culture and the extreme heights of individualism we're in.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with trying to make nice with somebody.
Yeah.
To like know somebody else is being a jerk and be like, I'm still going to be nice to them and try to get along.
Yeah.
But I feel like where we are culturally with interpersonal interactions, that's not what people are into.
Yeah.
People are into thinking that they're always right at any cost.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if other people don't like them.
Yeah.
I guess I think I'm reading too much into that.
No, I think that's a good take. I don't necessarily think that's what this author was maybe going for. If she was, I don't think it was
conscious.
Yeah. But there's a real lack of, I'll just take the high road here and in real life.
Well, I think I don't know how old this author is, but if she is anywhere like younger than me, I can see that as being something that is ingrained socially. Just because of the age and where, culture that she's a part of.
A great example is yesterday I was out to dinner with my mom and there's just like tables open everywhere. So we're like, we'll just sit over here. It wasn't like a waitress sat us or anything. So we sit down and like there's like shit on the table. And we're like, they just haven't cleared it. Someone left their sunglasses. We're like, that stinks. We'll tell a waiter when they walk by. So we sit down and we like, have our drink. And then I was like, I wonder if like this person's actually like these people are actually gone or I don't know. My mom's like, it'll be fine. If they come back, we'll just leave. It's no problem. And these like they're not teens because we were drinking, but like acted like teens. They're like, yeah, we were sitting here. I was like, oh shit. So sorry. Like we'll get up. And then we got up and moved and like, we had a lot of things, so it wasn't quick, but eventually it took us like less than a minute to move. And we sat down and they were like glared at us from across the way for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, what's their problem? Like, just ignore them. They're being gross.
Yeah.
Like they're being weird. We've moved. We can move on. They're obviously not going to move on. No, they're underage drinking. I'm just kidding.
That's actually quite a situation where I would have said to them, do you have a problem?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, yeah, if you actually flip this card over, that's how you know that the table's not here. There's nothing on the back side of the car. The back side of the card is blank.
Okay.
The front side of the car is like...
See, I'm sorry. This is what I was complaining about before we started recording. Is like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people right now.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because like the economy is shit and we're about to go to war, but like... people don't seem to understand that like mistakes happen and that's fine. It's like you have to be mad about it. Do you know how much of the content I get on social media right now is people like provoking conflicts like that?
Yeah.
Where it's like there was a very minor slight towards you that could be resolved immediately.
Yeah.
And you instead like take to fucking social media to like bitch about this person who didn't really do anything wrong. It's like it was a slight inconvenience. The problem was solved. Nobody actually has to be at fault here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I know. And I was like, I didn't even know that thing was there. And they were like, yeah, if you turn the card over. I was like, okay, sorry. We'll leave. No problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no problem there.
I was like,
the situation
we saw
was
the
solved.
sunglasses and we thought you left them. Sorry. And they're like, yeah. Okay. Like we're moving. We didn't shit in your seat. Like, it might be a little warm, but it's fucking hot.
Okay. The assassin goes straight for Aric, and Bianca goes into defense mode because I have not mentioned this at all, but she has sword training. So
first
just,
off,
have that in your head.
It's not mentioned
they always
until
do.
like now.
Yeah.
She was. I don't know why I said
think it
now.
was
So weird, but
I think it was mentioned back when she introduced Catalina to because I think they used to sword train together.
oh, okay. Well,
And that's how they met.
Dumb.
Anyway, so she's a sword trained person.
Yeah.
So she uses a pillow and her knee to defend him. She grabs a lantern and smashes it over this assassin's head. Her hand is cut. The assassin gets up and without any weapon, Bianca decides it's time to get the locket out just as Aric pushes her aside. The spell throws everyone backward. She gets up and is face to face with a white horse. Bianca's like, what the fuck? Where is Aric? And while the horse is clearly trying to tell her that it is Aric, then it tells her in her mind to get on its back. She scrambles onto its back and Aric hoof punches a window. Then they leap out of it, a second-story window, mind you. Then they land on the ground and gallop off somehow.
Oh yeah, that's one thing you know about horse legs is they can take a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, super strong. Those
So it's
horse
good
legs.
design.
I almost texted you and I was like, could a horse jump out of a second-story window?
I mean, it could, but it probably wouldn't end up looking pretty good afterwards.
No. So they ride off into the forest and she's still like, where is Aric? And the horse is like, oh, you are such a moron. I am Aric.
Isn't it amazing that he knew how to use his horse body so quickly?
It is, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know what to do with
No.
all of those legs
No.
and eyes on the side of your head. Can you imagine if you were just suddenly in a four-legged body, much, much larger, with eyes in a different position?
And you could
No.
see like, what is it? I think they can see like 360-degree vision. Something
What?
like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so like, how would your brain be able to process that?
Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing since later in the book, he actually has this reaction, but in the opposite way.
Like,
Yeah.
if I'm on a treadmill for an hour and I step off, I'm a little fucked up for a couple seconds.
I would be like a baby foal. I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to fall down. And then I'll try to figure out where my legs are in about an hour. Just like leave me be. So
Right,
I can
yeah.
figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I had the same thought, not necessarily in this part. In this part of the book, I was like, how is this horse fitting in this room? Also, like, is it going to go out the door? Like, how are they going to get out? But later on, I love how you put that. That was so funny. But in a later chapter, he like kneels to let her get on top of him. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like when I watch a horse like do that, it looks awkward. Like I can't imagine just like doing it flawlessly.
Yeah.
Like why would he? I feel like he should act like a little baby horse. Like his legs should be like all crickety. And also to go with the eyes thing, like your head is like way longer. Like think about it. Like you know how long their snouts are. I feel
Yes.
like he'd be turning his head and slapping people in the face all the time.
Yeah, he'd be hitting things. He'd be confused, falling over.
Yeah.
And I just don't even get me started on the jumping onto second
Oh
story
my God.
window onto ground.
Yeah,
Like, no.
yeah. Bianca does mention later on, which I think is sort of funny, that she's like, yeah, we're going slower than, like, this is taking longer than I thought it was.
It's just shade.
He's just not as fast as other horses. So, like, maybe he doesn't know how to use his horse body, or that's a slight at him being, like, a weak little soy boy nerd.
Yeah, he's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, he's just a frail king who spends all his days reading and writing and playing in the library. Like,
Good.
he's an intellectual. Okay,
Yeah, right.
We love him for his mind.
Yeah, we love him for his might, not his
And
horse
not
body.
his blonde hair.
So they're both accusing the other one of hiring an assassin while we're riding through the forest. Cute bonding, I guess. Aric
What a
is like
stupid fucking place to try to assassinate one person and not both of them. I know.
So Aric is like, I would never have someone murdered in my bedchamber, even if you forced me to marry
He's
you.
like my sheets.
Yeah, right. My
Put
beautiful,
sewing my sheets.
my beautiful Turkish sheets. And she's again like, what the fuck? Anyway, she closes the locket in hopes that it will break the spell, but it does nothing. Aric tells her he's going to take them somewhere safe because there's no way her explaining the situation to his guards is going to end well. So she gets on him, very cognizant now that she is not wearing underwear and is pressing her bare vagina against his horseback. And they gallop into the woods.
I mean, she doesn't have to. Like, she could bunch up her nightgown and kind of like loop it under her, you know, like men used to do with their long shirts before we developed men's underwear.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure, Bianca, you have to put your vagina on this horse.
All I can say is that shit's gonna chafe.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter what, it's gonna chafe.
I feel like she's into his horse body. Like, she has a lot of Freudian slips.
I will say,
after he turned into a horse, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I was wondering if Maura was disappointed that there wasn't more horse stuff in this book.
I wasn't
horse
disappointed.
fucking?
I mean, I
well,
think,
no, I mean like the level of
Where are you going with this?
I mean that the level of knowledge that this author seems to have about horses
Yeah, minimal.
is kind of my level of knowledge about horses.
she
Yeah,
doesn't know
that's
much
true.
about horses. It's very clear to me.
I didn't know if you would be disappointed that it wasn't more.
I think I was actually kind
Horse-centric.
of refreshed that it wasn't super horse-centric, because horse people are as insufferable as authors, and I am both of those people. And they can be so annoying about the details.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, good. This isn't like super detailed. This clear person, if they are a horse person, got all stripped out, or it was never added to begin with.
Good. The only horse things, sorry to interrupt, that I remember is they said stallion, and they said mare, and they said something about hooves at one point, and I was like, what if he like threw a shoe or something? Isn't that a horse phrase?
Well,
Yeah,
but he
doesn't
has a shoe.
have-
He doesn't have the
Yeah.
shoes because he didn't. Oh,
You have to
has
get
to be
shoed.
put on you.
Don't.
Yeah.
A blacksmith would have to put the shoe on the horse.
I
They
guess
don't
I
come with
figured
those.
you would just have. Don't they like have to have shoes
No.
or no? Oh,
No,
okay.
it's just I think better for their hooves if
It's-
they're going to be doing a lot of like working or being on paved roads or
Sounds
something.
like he should get them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
You'd
my
only put
God.
the shoes on a horse if like they're in work and they're carrying riders all the time, and their hooves get worn down more than
Yeah.
usual.
Probably would help him jump out of a second story
It
window.
would, wouldn't it? He would have some traction.
Yeah, right.
Aric takes her to a derelict enchanted barn in this arboretum that they're in that he claims only 3 people know about: Bianca, him, and one mystery person. Then he says it's a safe haven for the entire royal family. So which is it, Aric?
Well, his parents are dead, so maybe
I
it is
know.
just him now.
Maybe, yes, this is true. I think I always go into these things thinking, like, who realistically should know about a hidden royal safe house? Like, wouldn't the queen have had a separate guard like Maura is for Aric?
Yeah.
But you're right. In books, it's always like one person. They argue over the most acceptable stall, and they reach a compromise. They'll share. So cute. They're like toddlers. Anyway, she wonders at her hands that have healed completely after the lantern incident now. Aric snipes at her about her attempt to assassinate him, and she's like, shut up, horse. They discuss the whole orchestrating marriage bit, and he says he had nothing to do with threatening a war, and Demaria was actually making the threats. Thank you very much. Apparently, Demaria is the batty. They want to expand the trade agreement. They forced them to buy Adeptech, and then wed one of their minions without meeting them first. And Bianca is like, no, that was all you. And he's like, I'm not even king yet. Why would I do any of that? Bianca is stumped. They have no idea who forced their marriage.
Yeah, she's like, my parents are the worst and have spent my entire life doing and saying terrible things to me, but they aren't evil.
Yeah. I'm like, let's think about this just for a second. Bianca, who was the one who made you do this? Okay, let's follow those breadcrumbs.
Who's never been nice to you in your life? I don't know. Maybe. I also think it's funny that he says something similar about Varen.
Yeah.
Like, we might be, we're not that close, but he'd never kill me.
I know.
And then it got me thinking, like, if I was in a similar situation, like, would any of my siblings kill me for the throne?
So
My
probably.
conclusion is, yeah.
That seems to be always the way in these things.
Yeah, it does seem to happen a shocking amount, like across cultures throughout history. It's not always a sibling. A lot of times it's like a cousin or somebody with like a more tentative hold on the throne. And I don't understand why. Who wants that kind of power?
I know.
Like, you're already rich. That's the fun part of having power.
Yeah, that's kind of what my conclusion was. First off, I'd be third in line, so 2 of my siblings would have to die. And then love my sister. She has a different sort of anxiety where she has to ask every single person a question about her life every minute of every day instead of just like stewing on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like she'd be okay with not having that responsibility.
You think that, but man.
Yeah. I feel like what would actually happen is I would throw myself off a bridge so I didn't have to be a queen.
I mean, it happens in modern life too. Like the country I always go to, is a monarchy, and just recently, like in the past few years, the king threw like a cousin and like in a hotel and like basically house arrested him in there because he was angling to take the throne. And I'm just like, it's like 2020. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And this isn't like a rich country. It's a freaking poor country. What power are you even going to gain? You could just be rich and have a private plane and like a stable full of Arabians or whatever and be happy.
Yeah, just let someone else do it.
Yeah, if my sibling was a ruler and they're like, go live in a nunnery in the countryside so you're not a threat, I'd be like, will do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'd prefer not a nunnery because
Same.
I don't want to wake up early. But, a cottage somewhere.
Yeah, if they were like, can you
Shut me off to the riverside.
Yeah,
Right.
if they were like, we're going to put you in a little house in a forest and we'll just give you stuff, so you can be
that sound
entertained, but like
great?
just
Yeah.
don't talk to Great, sign me up.
Oh God, I think about it all the time.
I know.
I'm like, can I move to the
This
forest
sounds
and never
really
talk to
shitty, but
people again?
When lockdown happened, I was like, that was a great 2 weeks.
Wasn't it?
Sorry to say.
Yeah, I could have done without the anxiety that people I loved were going to die.
Yeah, take the anxiety out.
It was nice to have an excuse not to go out and do stuff.
Day one of lockdown, I got like a cat hair or something in my eye. I have no idea what happened, but I put eye drops in, and later on I was like walking to the bathroom post eye drops, and my pupil was like so large. It was like I looked like David Bowie. It was nuts. And I was like Googling it, and I was like, oh my God, baby, this is like an unknown sign of COVID. Like maybe I have COVID. I was just with all these children. What's going on? And I called my mom, and I was like freaking out, and I was FaceTiming her, and she was like, do you know what? You should just go to bed. I was like, no, this is like, I have a brain tumor. I can't go to the hospitals. They're overwhelmed with COVID. What am I supposed to do? I don't have a mask. And she was like, just go to bed and then call me in the morning and show me if it's worse.
That is probably the best piece of
that is
advice your mother has
unfortunately
ever given you.
That's
Just
actually
go to sleep.
Yep.
That's actually something I do to temper my anxiety. If I'm really worked up about something, I'm like, I just need to make it through this day and go to sleep. And then my unconscious brain processes it.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I know if I still don't think it's a big deal, it's like, okay, that's probably okay. And then if I still am upset, I'm like, okay, maybe it is a big deal.
Yeah.
There's one other thing.
I have that thought too. And I'm like, listen, if I'm actually dying and I die in my sleep, that's great.
yeah, exactly.
You're not coherent.
Yeah.
You're not cognizant of it happening.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh my God, I have 2 random facts I want to say right now.
Go.
So one of them, number 1, do you know that David Bowie, his eyes were not like an affect? It wasn't a contact or anything. That was the result of an accident.
I did think I know that.
Like someone, like a friend, they were horsing around and he accidentally punched him in the side of the face and it fucked up his eye.
Yeah.
Second, do you know the concept of like dying in your sleep being a good death or being killed immediately being a better option for a violent death?
It's not true.
It's a new concept.
Oh, okay.
I learned this in a really good book about the Civil War called what is it called? Our Republic of Suffering.
I won't read it. But
anyway, it was a really good book about the culture of death at the time of the Civil War. So she said that what was considered better a death in the Civil War was if you like malingered, basically, like if you had time to be on your deathbed and like write letters to your loved one and like accept your death and that you were going to heaven
to like meditate on it.
That was better. That was considered like they would like write letters to family that
like,
people died that way that
to write
absolutely
this
did not
letter.
die that way. And if somebody died immediately in battle, like right to the head or something, that was considered bad because they didn't have time to make their peace. And they think that probably changed around the time of mechanized warfare.
yeah.
But I always thought that was so interesting because now it's so much better to die immediately. That's how we perceive it as a culture.
Yeah. I also wonder if it has to do with like technology. Like if I'm slowly dying, I could just call my mom and be like, hey, I'm sorry to tell you, I think I'm going to die. You know? Instead of it being like, oh God, this guy died and I'm in South Carolina and I have to send a letter to Florida.
Or you have to like take all
Why
of
am
that.
I like siding with the
And think about the effort of writing a letter back
Ohio,
then. Like you have to get your feather and you have to get your ink.
Wait for that
pot.
fucking horse to show up.
Right. You have to wait for the guy to come.
Yeah.
Be like, please
With
take
his
this to my loved
satchel.
ones.
Yeah. I get it. That makes sense. Take me swiftly.
All right, so they try to sleep, but Bianca is cold. So Aric, a horse, is like, we should share our warmth.
Okay.
Which they do. They talk some about how Aric
Cut him open and crawl inside.
Also, because I just finished reading this, he was also shivering.
Yes, he
Which,
was
like,
also shivering.
Shouldn't they be warmer? I don't know. I don't know anything
Horses
about
are quite warm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, granted, I don't really. Okay, I don't.
You've never snuggled with a horse?
Of course, I've snuggled with a horse. I did it yesterday.
Well, not in this sense. You weren't like being big spooned by a horse.
No, it wasn't being big spooned
phew.
by a horse. Can you imagine? People do that though. They big spoon their horses. But anyway.
Yeah, I've been on that energy.
Yeah, we've been on that energy. We know horse girl energy, right? So they talk some about how Aric's situation is not great, but also Aric is coming around to Bianca not being the one who wants him dead. He suggests a truce. They work together until they've lifted the curse and found out who wants them dead. She accepts.
I swear I could not see this as anything but Aric thinking she seems too stupid to plot against him. It's like, well, you really also don't seem to know what's going on. So,
It's like, you do seem rather confused and clearly not smart enough to plot against me.
That's so funny.
So Maria, Aric's guard, wakes them up. Maria wants to know where Aric is, so we have that charming conversation where they have to explain that he's a horse. No one else can hear him besides Bianca, so Maria needs proof that he's Aric, and he tells Bianca something only Maria would know about him. Maria accepts this and tells them that the castle is in a panic. Everyone thinks he's dead or kidnapped. Aric's room has been made to look like he bled everywhere. Where did they get this blood?
Yeah,
I don't even know. Mostly people believe that Bianca killed Aric. This book has some maddening repetition that starts right around here. Here's this gem of a reminder from Bianca to us. Quote, "I hadn't killed Aric. He wasn't even dead," unquote. And I'm like, I know that, Bianca. I am reading this.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah, it does take us a long time to get kind of anywhere in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of linger in this spot. And I'm like, can we maybe move out of this barn now? I'm bored.
Like, do you think even in a world where magic exists, but we have very little explanation for how it works other than like adepts use it to create technology, in that world, do you think that you would just accept that your friend / rumored lover was turned into a horse? Like, I feel like she accepts it very easily, and not this person who allegedly murdered him is running away with just a random horse.
I think it's because
You know?
this is just what I think. I think because she knows her sister does weird spells, that the fact that he was turned into a horse, she's like, yeah, this tracks for the kind of shit my sister does. Mm-hmm. But I get the feeling from the way other people react is it's not a common form of magic.
Yeah.
That this is really weird.
That's
spell.
what I mean. Like, Maria just is like, yeah, you knew one secret about me. Got it. Like, how many secrets would it take you to believe something this crazy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think also too, maybe the horse is acting a little funny. Like, I think it is doing things that are not necessarily horse-ish.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I consider myself an extremely.
I'm sorry, just picture that.
I consider myself an extremely skeptical person.
Yeah.
But also sometimes I feel like my grasp is a little tenuous. Like, if you give me good evidence, I might flip over. There was one time many years ago, my mother and I still talk about it. It was on Halloween, and after trick or treat and everything, I think I was probably in my early 20s. We were going about 10 minutes down the road to visit somebody, and in the dark, my headlights caught on this old man walking down the road. And in reality, the man had a pretty pronounced limp. Yeah. But for a very brief second when I saw it, I was absolutely convinced that was a zombie. 100% fully. It was happening now. The zombie apocalypse, starting with this guy. Yeah. I got to hit him with my car. All of this went through my head for about 2 seconds before I grasped what was happening. And my mom was like, you tensed up just now. What's happening? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just, for 1 second, lived in a world where zombies were real. I'm sorry. I'm okay now.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes my grasp is a little like, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like, sometimes I'll just be standing in my house and I'll see a flash of movement in the window and I'm just like, what's happening? What?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I immediately think, I'm like, stop fucking thinking that. You're a big bitch baby.
Yeah. Maybe it's part of anxiety, like a willingness to go to magical thinking immediately and then pull yourself back from it.
Mm-hmm. Again, you have to consider every single thing that happens.
Exactly. It might be zombies. How stupid am I going to look if I don't consider zombies?
Right.
So Bianca needs to get a message to her sister, who is the worker of this exceedingly dumb magic, so they can turn Aric back into a human and prove Bianca's innocence. This is what the book is going to be about now going forward. Bianca and Maria slink back into the castle. Bianca's goal is to talk to Demarian ambassador Evito de Paz, who apparently won her trust in the beginning of the book by visiting her that one time.
Yeah, she's a really bad judge of character.
She is. They use hidden passages to get to his room. She tells him about the assassination attempt, but stops short of telling him that Aric is a horse because it's need-to-know info, and she doesn't know if she can truly trust Depaz to keep his mouth shut. She needs the ambassador to send a message to Tatiana, and Depaz is like, cool, totally, I can do that for you. Maria is skeptical and calls him a pomp bucket, whatever that is. Bianca tells Depaz that she's leaving the castle grounds for her safety, but thinks better of telling him that Aric is coming with her on this journey.
Well, at least she was smart there.
Yeah. So Bianca wants to swing by her suite to get her tonics. Maria's like, absolutely not. So Bianca lets her go in her place with a bloodied rag that she will open the chest with because it's like adept coded or whatever.
Is that not blood magic now that I'm reading it?
It would be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hypocrite,
yeah,
Bianca.
because she has to pick a scab off for this. I'm
Ew.
like, yeah, cool,
gross.
great. They return to the barn with a saddle, and Aric says, "Hell no." Bianca says she needs it for her muscles hurt too much from riding bareback, and I'm like, I have news for you, sweetheart. In reality, her muscles are gonna hurt no matter what. Like riding bareback astride with no underwear on is going to be a different sort of pain. But thankfully she has pants on now.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca tells him speed is of utmost importance, so suck it up. They have 5 days until coronation. Off they go to the Demarian border to meet with Tatiana, who will hopefully be there to greet them.
The logistics of this whole voyage seem ill-conceived to me. It's like run from the palace, run to the palace, run to the border, run to the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also didn't she take a boat to get there, like to Gilligan
did.
time?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like did they sail by river then? Because I thought that they were in like a big warship.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
And
if they were going to the Baltic states, maybe they went over the Baltic Sea.
I mean, and what I
In this case, they went down. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know much about ships or anything really. So I was picturing like the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean, and you can't put that on a river, can you? So how are
Maybe-
they making this trip on horseback?
Maybe they just like where the palace was located in Tamaria was on the sea. So they're like, okay, we'll just go by sea. But now she's telling her sister to meet her at the border. And maybe
Yeah.
like the border's over here and the sea's over here. So there's just like meeting.
Yeah. I feel like this is the only time I was like, I
Yeah.
could really use a map.
Yeah.
So if you go by like the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth,
Yeah.
and
But
the
again-
Holy Roman Empire,
Yeah.
Also remember, I was not picturing this as Europe at all. I was like, oh, blobs in my mind. Got
Yeah.
it.
That's what I mean is if you're
It's
like,
like, let's presume one is Vilnius and the other is Rome.
Yeah.
So
Not a thought that happened to me at all.
yeah, maybe originally she went like from Italy in the Mediterranean around to the Atlantic and then up to the Baltic. And
Which
now
is
she's
crazy.
just cutting through. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're thinking about it more than the author did.
the sun sets. Aric turns back into a man while Bianca is riding him, tossing her as he sprawls onto the road, totally naked and saddled.
This was a real missed opportunity for some absurd comedy here. Like you guys say this at the end, and I kind of sprinkle it through here as well. I think this book could have been funnier. Like, picture it. He's slowly transformed as he's running as a horse, and by the time he is back into a man, he's like crawling on his hands and knees, and Bianca is still sitting on him. Like, that would be funny, right?
That would be like a cartoon.
Yeah, but like absurd enough that I'm like, oh, haha, that's stupid.
Well, yeah, especially if like a foraging local came out of the woods and saw it.
Yeah. Like a naked man bear crawling and a girl just like riding him in literally on a saddle.
On a saddle.
No underpants.
Yeah.
She has pants on now.
But yeah. But is she wearing underwear?
That's a good point. They both agree that this seems too easy. The curse probably isn't broken.
I don't know. I feel like assuming it's broken was a safe conclusion.
Yeah. So Aric seems more bodily confused as a man than he ever was as a horse. So Bianca has to help him, and they stumble around. Bianca gets the unexpected tingles from his touch. Bianca gives him a change of her clothes, while Aric tells her about his magical knowledge.
Man, I really wasn't into you until you turned into a horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Earlier as I was reading, I was like, wow, a little soy boy nerd is out here as the love interest. That's a real pivot from normal. And he's only like a few inches taller than her. That's weird. And of course I was judging him because I like my men like moto, big and chunky. It's a really old reference from Madagascar. I hate myself for saying that. But it makes sense now why he was like a little shorty king, literally.
Yeah,
because
they have to share clothes.
they have to share clothes.
Yeah.
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 Got
How else are they going to manage
I don't know. He
this?
could just wear capris.
Yeah, capris on the horse.
How would a horse wear pants? All right, sorry.
Not talking about that.
Oh.
So he is bookish, this man, and knows things, which is why he knows this isn't the end of the curse. Magic is wilder in the north and runs in natural cycles, so he will probably turn back into a horse at night. We get another upping of the stakes. If they don't do the coronation on the right time, then magic will go awry, and no one wants that, I assure you. They decide to keep going to the meeting place while Maura figures out who the assassin is. They realize that if both of them are dead, then the crown will pass to Lord Varen. Aric doesn't think Varen tried to kill him, though. They argue over this and agree there's no proof to anything, so they should just shut it and move on.
Yeah, like Varen could kill his brother, but her parents couldn't plot to kill her husband and make her queen. Sure.
I mean, if we're going by like historical European rules about nobility, just because the heir dies, that absolutely does not mean that you, as the bastard, have any claim to succession. It would be like a cousin.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the nobility, and like
Yeah.
one of your parents like clearly isn't part of that because they weren't, it just didn't get recognized like that.
Yeah.
And they said
It's
it in
poor
this.
logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Gildenheim, they're like, oh, he's a bastard. Sick. Gross. In the bad way. Not sick, cool. But
Right.
Like
yeah.
you'll still get,
why would he be king?
you'll still
Exactly.
usually get like official positions and shit like that, but you
Yeah.
are not in the line to succession.
He was
No.
a courtier.
Yeah.
Courtier.
Courtier.
Oh my god. They steal some shoes for Aric. He feels bad about it, and Bianca spends several paragraphs musing about like commoners and how she doesn't really know the man she married. Like, no shit, Bianca.
She's gonna get foot fungus from those
God.
commoner shoes.
Aric calls her on staring at him, and she's like, was not. They agree that she did not send the assassin to kill him, and she's not at fault for his misunderstandings about her. Growth. He thanks her for saving him, and she realizes he tried to do the same.
Yeah.
How bad do you think foot fungus must have been historically?
Probably really bad.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
What
everything
could you
would've
even
been
do
bad.
about it?
Well,
Your shoes were shitty.
Did these people bathe? Like, I know the English didn't for a while.
I mean, these people do bathe because there's a bath scene.
Yeah. In this troll fantasy that I'm reading, I had to stop reading. The white people, the humans, well, assuming white people, they don't bathe. They think
Racist.
it's dirty. Yeah, sorry. Well, I feel like it was the white people who didn't bathe, right?
Yeah.
It was the British.
It was the British.
Yeah,
They
they
actually-
call them dirty all the time. I think it's funny. I'm like, this is great.
The not bathing thing was more of an early modern thing. People did kind of bathe more regularly in the medieval period. Kind of, depended on where you were. But they didn't really use soap.
Yeah.
So, in like, once you
Do
get
events.
foot fungus, it's like almost impossible to get rid of with modern medicine.
Oh.
And hard sole shoes are actually relatively modern concept
Yeah, I
too.
didn't know that.
Slippers. Everybody
So you have these
slippers.
like wet, soft shoes, these bags on your feet, just baking in there with fungus.
The moral of the story is that you don't want to live in the past.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, this is not relevant at all.
So they try to travel at night, but realize they do need to sleep at some point. They make camp and startle a few glowworms, which have been decimated by Damaria's logging trade. She realizes that in Demaria, the glowworms are painted as monsters, when in fact they are cute, like axolotls. Aric suggests that Demaria told people that glowworms were dangerous to use it as an excuse to cut down their own forests. Apparently, Damaria's soil is poor, so it's definitely kind of a Greece-type country, and they need the lumber for their fleets. But Bianca agrees that compromise should have been reached. We love glowworms. Glowworms are cute. A happy medium, if you will. Aric says it's almost sunrise, and Bianca says, almost time for me to ride you.
Nice.
And then he strips off his clothes, and she gets all flustered.
How big were these glowworms?
Like the size of a dachshund.
She's very for the people, despite the fact she doesn't know any of them.
This is true. Yeah. Yeah, she comes from a country that is not a monarchy, and that like kind of like is a proto-democracy, I guess you could say.
Why are you side-eyeing me?
I mean, there's still obviously like rich ruling classes
Oh,
in
yes.
her
yeah,
country.
Oh,
for
who-
sure.
Who
She's
wanted
not-
a kid that was in a monarchy.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's not the people's princess by far.
Yeah, she goes into this like kind of was like, oh, Demaria is so much better than this like
Yeah, she's very haughty about it.
Yeah, they're like-
gross monarchy.
Yeah.
They're like the period of time in Rome where it's like, oh no, we're totally still a democracy as they
Yeah.
slowly slid into having an emperor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was this part or later on. They talk about how the Gildenheim people like don't know how to read, and she was like, "Ugh, what? And he was like, no, I'm going to change that as king. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, the literacy is bad here.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like,
my
ew.
mom.
Yeah.
Sorry that our commoners are dumb and dirty with foot fungus, but we need them shoes.
So Aric turns back into a horse. They spend the day getting to know each other since they're married and all. She likes the weapons training ground. He likes the library. And they're like, that's cool. Then her condition flares and Aric picks up on it. He's a horse now, so that's probably why.
I was really bothered that when he was a horse, she could only speak to him psychically. Like, I understand why for the sake of the book, not having the leads not be able to have a common language would have been a problem, but like I don't understand how this makes sense. It's not like she really performed the spell. She just opened the lock. If anything, it should be her sister who could understand him speak.
Yeah. So it has something to do with the blood magic that she doesn't even understand about until later. So we spend a good majority of the book confused, I think. And
Like
then
I said,
they're like, oh, by the way, you can do blood magic. And that's why.
like I said at the end, I feel like this book could have been zanier, and I think that would have been helped by having them not be able to understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
She would be
actually.
like, stomp once for yes, twice for no.
It's just like a little angry rabbit. Just
It's like, damn it.
yeah.
Oh my God. So she drinks her tonic and he's like, I wish you had told me. And she's like, now that you know about this, we can get a divorce after we sign a new treaty. And he's like, why would we divorce? And she's like, because this was all a sham and you won't even have sex with me. He's like, well, why would I care about your condition? And like, this all has to do with Bianca's chip on her shoulder. The story here, like always having to be strong, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that's dumb. You're obviously strong. And he's like, maybe I can help your condition. I have much library knowledge. And she says, I don't need fixing. And he's like, of course not. And she realizes he's not an arrogant asshole, but a nervous introvert.
I think this is a contradictory stance for Bianca to take. On one hand, it's I don't need fixing. On the other, it's I don't get what you have to divorce your defective wife.
Yeah, she does go back and forth a lot. They arrive at a village and decide to spend the night at an inn. He changes back into a person and they get a room. There's only one bed, so they can check out Chope off. They decide they can share the bed because she is not actually abhorrent to him. They shake hands on it and he notices the lines on her hand, asking when she performed blood magic. And she's like, I didn't do anything. And he reminds her that she's royal now and royal people in Gildenheim can do blood magic. And she's like, well, shit. They eat, they bathe separately. Aric sees her naked. They are interrupted from staring by a puffin with a message from Depaz, who says there is nothing to report except her retinue has been detained.
Which, like, they already knew. So that was really helpful.
Yeah, that was kind of a downer. They read together. She asks him why the fire is green, and he says it's a green witch spell to save on wood. Eventually, he carries her to bed and tucks her in. Very cute.
He's not a weak soy boy.
No, wholesome.
Just a
wholesome,
soy
cute.
boy.
He can pick her up. He's strong enough to do that, damn it.
Probably from carrying around all those books.
He was a horse, thank you.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry,
been carrying
Tabitha.
her around for a while. Bianca wakes up in the middle of the night, racked with guilt about her people in detention. Aric wakes up and asks if one of those people means more to her than she's letting on, and she tells him about Catalina, who was almost a girlfriend before her parents put a stop to it. Bianca is to be saved for a loveless aristocratic marriage, you see, so she broke things off with Catalina before it could even become serious. Please see Bianca's hang-ups on strength and duty, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, she assures Aric that she's not in love with Catalina and they've moved on. Aric reminds her that caring for people doesn't make her weak, which they argue about. This book is very heavy on Bianca's character flaw, driving a lot of the plot, if you have not already picked up on that.
As I said before, the romance in this book really is a subplot to the main story of Bianca's self-actualization, which is why we're spending so much time trying to speculate on how this world works.
Yeah. I do think, like, I'm of two minds on this. Like, I think it is definitely very much focused on her self-actualization more than it is the romance. But also I think so many romance books do that now that we've moved away from like the more traditional romance setup where you have the main female character has a chapter, the main male character has a chapter, and they back and forth, and you get his like kind of weird, awful opinion on things. And now it's mostly about her, and it's all told in her perspective most of the time now. And like, how do you build a book around that? You give her a shit ton of flaws, and she's got to fix all of them through falling in love. That's how I feel like romance is nowadays. Which is not an argument. It's not like bad. It's just like I think it's really like inner conflict and inner wound heavy.
Yeah, I feel like what's the other book that this? Oh, A Fate Inked in Blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one falls in this category too.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Which I think both of them. You talk about this later in our wrap up. Are like, I don't know. It just feels like very YA, that sort of theme.
Sometimes it can like it depends on the theme that it depends on the inner wound that they have and the thing that they're trying to get over.
Yeah.
In this case, it is like kind of a YA-ish theme.
If I'm around to read a romance, when there's self-actualization stuff in it, it starts veering a little too close to reality for me.
Yeah.
When I want a romance, I want it to be unrealistic.
Yeah.
You give me shit that men would never do in a million years.
Yeah. I need yearning, pining.
Yeah, exactly.
Love you so much I can barely think.
Men expressing their feelings with words.
Yeah.
So Aric, nice segue, assures her she's strong in the ways that count, and they have a deep and meaningful conversation about what strength entails. Aric says they should be free to decide who to marry and live their own lives despite their duty, and she's like, that's cute, you're so naive. He says he'll grant her a divorce if she wants one because he wants her to be able to make that choice, and she is initially glad but then is like, oh no, why do I feel so weird about this? Yeah. Morning. Bianca wakes up by inadvertently rubbing herself against his erection.
Now, I have shared a lot of beds platonically in my life, including with straight men. I've absolutely never encountered this situation. It is amazing how still I can stay when sleeping when I do not want to touch somebody else in my bed.
God, I never want to touch anybody in my bed. No. I'm married and I don't wind up touching my husband at any point.
That was actually one of the things I remember thinking as a teenager that I'm like not surprised I ended up never being interested in dating or getting married because like at 15 I was like, sharing a bed with another person sounds like the worst possible thing on earth.
It can be misery depending on who it is. Sure. Like, God, do they snore? Don't want that.
Yeah. I need like not like a specific, I cannot be hot when I go to sleep, but like I wake up cold. So yeah. Or no, it's usually the reverse. I am cold when I'm sleeping, like when I'm about to fall asleep because it needs to be cold, but then I wake up and I'm sweating.
Yeah. I want to be able to do whatever the hell I want in bed. I usually go to bed. I have a bonnet over my hair. I have a mouth guard in. I have a nasal dilator in. I look like shit.
Hot as hell.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be able to starfish on the bed.
Yeah.
I want to be able to get up and wander around in the middle of the night.
I know. I think about this a lot. I'm like, I've slept on my own for too long. If it ever happens that I have to share a bed, I'm like, what if we just got like 2 twin beds? But most of the time I've shared a bed, it's been on vacation with my sister. And she talks in her sleep like at normal volume, and I apparently kick her off the bed, which I think is because she talks in her sleep in full volume.
Yeah, probably.
And like we're not quiet people, so it's not like she's whispering, at me. She's like, Emma, shut the fuck up. That literally happened once.
Not to be perverse or anything, but my point is, you never woke up rubbing yourself on her.
No.
Like this is always like a trope that you see when people share a bed.
Yeah, they wind up.
I feel like it does not happen in real life.
Yeah, they wake up all tangled and it's like super cute. And in this case, she's rubbing herself against his erection. That's like, okay, that's a little close.
I do like to glom onto people. Like, so that's probably why she thought I'd kick her all the time is I'm like, you're warm. Let's be warm together. But or maybe I just physical violence. I don't know.
You chose violence in your sleep. So they realize it's dawn and he's going to change into a horse soon. They panic. Before they can get out, he changes into a horse. So now there's a horse in the bedroom again.
The innkeeper stops by at this point because she like yells because they break this bed. And the innkeeper asks if they're all right, because yelling and banging. And Bianca's like, yep, all good in here. Just bedded a horse, literally. So like she does like his horse form as well.
I think she does. Yeah. They do manage to get him out the door and down the stairs to like a shocked onlooker situation. And Bianca covers for this by proclaiming she only allows the best accommodations for her pet.
I'm not around horses a lot, basically ever. But Aric as a horse seems to be fitting through a lot of like human-sized passageways, which when they're in the barn, he walks through a human door because they said his like hides or whatever sides hit the door frame as he's walking through, and now he's going downstairs. Like horses are big, right? Like, and old buildings weren't known for being like spacious.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how big he is.
Well, he's a stallion, so he's got to be
Yeah,
huge.
I mean, I was riding a 17-hand gelding into the barn yesterday, and I mean, the door was about this size, about 10 feet tall, probably.
Yeah.
And I was like ducking to like not hit my head.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you think he was a horse for what, like 5 days in this book, 7 days? Do you think he ever pooped?
Dude, I literally had that thought.
You know, I didn't think about
When
that.
they were riding
Do you think he
around.
just did it while she was on his back and was like, oh my God, what just happened? Or do you think he was like, you have to get off my back,
No.
you have to turn away, I'm going to go into the
I
woods?
had this same thought because at one point they're like, we rode all day. And I was like, well, no, you had to have stopped to go to the bathroom. And then I was like, wait, did they stop for him to go to the bathroom?
do
But
you
I
think
didn't think
he-
about pooping. I just thought about peeing.
Do you think he like knew what to do? Do you think he was like,
Well, he knew how to jump out of a second-story building. I'm
This
sure
is
he
true.
was like, just relax
Pooping's
that
not a
asshole.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
We
did
all
he
poop,
eat? Did he
man.
eat as a... Well, they talk about him eating.
Yeah, he does
Or,
eat.
You know, what do you like for breakfast? And he was like, I think you know horses eat. Did
Yeah.
he eat as a horse?
I don't think so. I don't think he ever ate. I don't think he ever shit. I don't think he ever peed.
I think he probably just like pooped on the trail, just the
Listen.
way horses do, and was like, oh my God, what just happened?
I think there needs to be more pooping in these books. We talk a lot about vomit. Where's the shit?
Yeah, we had vomit. We didn't get any shit. That's
Just to clarify.
downer.
I want to
not
know what
into
their
that at
fantasy
all.
toilets are like.
Yes. Is it a hole? Is it a chamber pot?
So Aric is not thrilled about being called a pet, so they banter about that word she should have used instead, and he's like, I don't understand pillow talk, and she's
Right.
like, have you literally ever had sex? He's like, look, none of those encounters were romantic, okay? He does have lovers, but they weren't like, you know, they weren't like meaningful, because that would be complicated. And she's like, oh, what about Maria? And he's like, haha, what? Maria is a lesbian, guys. That's not what was going on.
I kind of thought he was going to say he was a virgin, and I was into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is not.
I was like, this checks out. Big loser nerd
Yeah.
virgin.
And I can't remember if she was a virgin, though. Was she a virgin?
No.
Okay.
I don't
She
think
said
so.
she
Where would
slept.
she have gotten the time
Yeah.
to do that? Okay. Well, anyway, they talk about his family. This journey is like one long first date. And all of this get to know you talk is interrupted when Bianca realizes they're being followed. They wind up being intercepted by bandits who go through their stuff and are disappointed, but intend to steal Aric because he's literally the only thing of value. It's almost dusk, so that's a whole other problem. Except when the bandits decide to kill Bianca, things get kind of hairy. Bianca's like, wait, I'm an adept, the strongest alive. She says she'll prove it by changing her horse into something else. And they're like, nah, no way. But then it works because timing is a thing. Everyone's like, oh my God. So she takes that moment to steal a horse, and she and Aric gallop out of there on another horse. Now we have
Different
two
horse.
horses.
Horse is just a horse. Not a horse is secretly a man.
Yeah.
But she's been shot, you guys.
Maybe, actually. I don't know.
What if he was? What if he was trapped as a horse?
Yeah.
Oh. Actually, I think it was a mare, but anyways.
So Aric gets her to a green haven where green witches gather, and one of them fixes up her little gun wound.
Yeah, honestly, this was the best scene in the book. I like it when there's action.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good scene.
Agreed.
Also, like, again, one of the parts where it's slightly a little madcap.
It was. It was
Yeah.
a bit madcap. It was a little absurd. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I wanted this to be the vibe for like the whole book.
Yeah, had it been a little bit more madcap the entire way, I would have really enjoyed that.
Like, My Lady Jane leaned into that.
Yeah, it was madcap the entire time. But anyway, back to night, and Aric shows up to nurse her. She thinks she's failed, of course, and he's like, "You've got to stop doing that."
Okay, I have to interrupt because I'm complaining. When am I not? But at the start of their little heart to heart, Bianca's like, "What are we?" That's a literal quote. And like, bitch, what do you mean?
Bitch, I'm a horse. I'd like to deal with that first.
Yeah.
We are married, and
you-
I am a horse.
Yes, you've been calling him husband the whole time. He calls you wife. What do you mean? What are you? Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is when they admit they want each other and kiss.
Great.
Then they have sex. It's sweet. They're very baby's first love about it.
Neither of them are virgins.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, but she has sutures?
Mm-hmm.
Are we not sure about this gun wound? Apparently no.
To me, this sex scene felt like a publisher's requirement. Like,
Yeah.
okay, they do actually have to have on-page sex.
They do. And it did
Here's
feel,
the best part.
It did feel a little shoehorned in, though, because I was like, the entire time I was distracted because I was like, but she's injured.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I was reading this as I was laying down, and he pulls her leg onto his shoulder while they're fucking. And as I said, I was laying down. So I literally started like lifting my leg as to like if it was in that position to see if my ribs would be strained, because that's where she got hit. And I was like, yeah, she's being healed by magic, but like also like it'd be pulling at her stitches, or it'd be pulling at her wound, it'd be like reopening. And like the Green Witch said, it's still gonna take some time. You gotta sleep, girl, or else the only place you're gonna be going is to the pot. So she just should have been on top the whole time. Or maybe, I don't know, just do some oral. I don't know. I know that's like not as quote unquote romantic, but they literally were talking about getting a divorce 2 chapters ago. This is everything's moving
It's
so fast.
weird that it's considered not romantic, which I do agree with you. It would not be considered by a mainstream audience, whereas I think it would be far more romantic to be like, you are injured, I'll just eat you out instead.
Yeah. And as we say, like almost every episode,
Love interest
eat out.
Yeah.
I don't think it happened in this book.
No, it didn't. This was like the only sex scene.
Yeah. Well,
and like I said, it was,
and then they gloss over one more, but yeah.
and like I said, I find this to be very, very straightforward, this one. Like I said, it was like, the publisher told them, no, you have to have an on-page scene in here. And they're like, all right, fine.
Yeah. I also got a little lost in some of their like positions. Like at one point he was like kneeling, and then like he was on top of her, but a hand was still down there.
I honestly think
I was like, what's going on?
I honestly think I just kind of glossed over this.
Yeah, I think I glossed over it too. But
I-
that's how I read sex, so.
It's okay.
Anyway.
I'm here acting it out.
Yeah, I know. She's like, and then I lifted my leg, and I'm like, Emma.
I just lifted my leg.
So the Green Witch wakes them up before Aric goes all hoarse again. Bianca is mostly healed thanks to like magic, I guess. Bianca asks the witch if she can help Aric's curse, and she says she can't. That's the transformation itself is obviously very easy, but the longevity of this one suggests blood magic is at work. And then Bianca remembers her scars and is like, oh no, what if I accidentally cast the blood magic? And the witch tells her a chicken came with a message. Lord Varen will now be crowned king.
And they have a little like, chickens can fly? Oh, I know chickens can fly conversation. Like, it was kind of funny. I mean, I didn't laugh. It was just silly. Sorry. It was just fun. That's what I mean. Just like make this book sillier.
Yeah, like when I say this, it could be silly in a lot of places in this book. It wasn't like silly, haha, oh, I'm laughing. This is a really good comedy. It was just like this book could be
absurd,
more absurd.
Yeah,
because it had little bits of absurdity, and and then it would like get swept away by like, now we have to have serious conversation about our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, just
yeah. So Maria has been arrested. They found a bloody knife in her quarters. Seems suspicious. They agree that they will fix this, and Bianca's like, whoa, if only I had Aric's confidence in me for myself. They leave the Green Haven, but not before the Green Witch gives her a bag of something for, quote, her stomach troubles, end quote. And she says that she's seen these pains before and tells Bianca that she's basically poisoning herself from something in the environment. We're not quite sure what. And then she says, that's the root of it. So Bianca's like, I would never poison myself. I have a great apothecary. And the witch says, it's not happening deliberately. There's just something out there afflicting your body. And then she's like, figure out what's poisoning you and your symptoms will eventually stop. It won't cure you, but you won't have to live in pain. The witch suggests that Aric will be able to figure out what ails her with all of his book learning. And I was really interested in this, I'm not going to lie. But don't worry, it's basically the last it's ever mentioned.
You told me that the author has IBS, so this was written to allude to a chronic condition like that. But it absolutely makes the reader think that Bianca has a magical-based illness.
Yeah, I think that this book could have benefited from an epilogue like told a year in the future, or like something where Aric and Bianca have figured out how to manage her condition, and we get more closure there, as well as with Demaria. And like, yeah, spoilers for later, but it wraps up really, really fast and leaves these plot points unresolved because, yeah, at this point, I'm assuming her parents know exactly what's up with her and have been keeping her in the dark knowingly, so she'll continue to feel sick or have literally magically cursed her, like, to keep her under their sway. But that's not it at all.
No. I was with Tabitha. I said this earlier, but I also thought it was a magical curse up until this point. And then the Green Witch said, like, the foods you're eating are killing you. And I was like, oh, she probably just has, like, a food allergy. Or maybe she's just lactose intolerant, which, I don't know, makes sense. But also within her fake chanting to scare off the thieves, she said the word indigestion. Mm-hmm. So that makes me think that they have some sort of, like, medical understanding of how digestion works.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it be IBS? I don't know. Poor Bianca. She's just like existing in this book, and I'm finding like every way to judge her. So
Yeah, poor thing. She has tummy troubles. Poor lady. So anyway, Bianca is swooning with this knowledge that her troubles are not some weakness, but an actual symptom of something wrong. And now she has the witch's peppermints to help with the rest of the journey. So hurrah. They ride hard to the meeting place while Bianca thinks an incredibly long time about whether this is a love thing with Aric. They get to the inn that Tatiana is at. Apparently Tatiana has been here for a while because she is using a spittoon that will transport her 7 leagues in one step. So now you know how they're going to get back to the castle quickly, because we are at 69%, and I'm sure
Nice.
we're all wondering by now. Yeah, I knew you were going to say something. So Bianca explains to Tatiana why she's here, and Tatiana, of course, says she can't help.
great.
Yep. Tatiana tells her that the horse spell was never meant to last longer than a few hours, just enough to escape an attack. Bianca...
I'm sorry. Why would you turn someone into a horse? Like, they can kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Why would it be like a rat?
Yeah.
You know?
As someone who rides horses, yeah, they can beat the shit out of you if they
I've
want
never
it.
ridden a horse, and I know that's a bad idea.
Like, I know that
Like,
horses, like,
a
are
chicken
horses.
or something.
Yeah, like, if a horse really, really wanted to, it could beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Easily.
That woman,
But woman.
the one who got like laid on by a horse.
Rolled
Oh
over.
yeah. My old boss.
love
Yeah,
that
you could do
story.
like polymorph and turn into a sheep
Yeah.
or cheese.
Cheese. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Cheese.
Turn someone into a block of cheese.
Ate that cheese, would it be cannibalism?
Yes.
I think so.
Bianca admits that she thinks she used blood magic. Aric, who is an honorary librarian at this point, tells them that the curse could be reversed with a spell of equal power. They decide they'll leave via coach tomorrow for the castle. Then Tatiana tells Bianca that she's so brave and better than her, basically. And Bianca tells her that's bullshit. They have a little sisterly bonding moment, and they agree that their parents suck.
So I thought that the past blood magic part of the story would tie in with her illness. Like that this is what I thought. This was my assumption. Her parents siphoned off her ability to do magic, Bianca's ability to do magic, to make her sister stronger, but that made her perpetually sick. But no, this is not even remotely close to what happened.
That'd be
not at
wonderful.
all. Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a good story?
That
Yeah,
would
it
have
would've
been
been a way better
yeah,
story.
because her parents would have done
Sorry.
that easily.
Not
Yeah.
way better. but-
Happily, they would have done that.
Yeah.
Later, Aric is in his feels. Maybe he should let Varen take the throne. He is, after all, not good at being an heir. Apparently, Aric's mom also sucks and filled his head with expectations about what an heir should be like, which is not him. And they talk each other up, and then they have sex.
I mean, he has to this point not demonstrated anything that would make him particularly good at kingship. He's a nicer person than Varen, but does that make a good king? I'm sure a lot of us know people who are good people, but really bad at being in charge.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I also was like, well, what does a good ruler entail exactly? And at some point, they do discuss Aric's inherent personality as being something Bianca would assume are good king qualities. I think it's in the my mom made it known that I would be a bad king because I'm not a strong warrior man or something convo. And this book seems to be thinking like strong warrior equals good king, and that's what we're trying to subvert. Although Demaria doesn't have kings, I'm not sure how she would know.
She read books.
She read some books. And later on, Maria does tell him that he's been absent from court too long to be able to gain allies against Varen. So I think the book is cognizant of this problem. But yeah, I mean, who the hell knows?
At one point, they talk about how, well, I mean, we talked about this earlier. He was going to like teach the plebes how to read.
But what's his plan for that? Like, that's a great idea. But
Girl,
like, how are you going to institute that?
If I've
want
known
plans?
anything from working in corporate, you don't actually have to be good at plans to be in a
All
position
he
of
needs
power.
to do is say, hey, y'all, make the commoners be able to read. And
Yeah.
then he's done his job.
And they're like, yeah, no child left behind. Unrelated. I think this scene should have been the first and maybe only sex scene.
I can see that. Yeah, because at least she's not wounded this time.
Okay, but no. Literally, at the beginning of the sex scene, she was like, my rib, it's still a little sore, but I think we can do it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what the fuck happened last time?
Yeah.
Were you like drunk? Like, did they give you like whatever the drugs are back then? Laudanum?
Laudanum.
Shut up. Words. And so she rides him on top, which did I not say that's what should have happened?
That should have happened. That would have been like thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know there's nothing that's more of a turn on than starting your foreplay with my mother was mean to me.
Guys, listen. I think I've told this story before, but on a first date that I had a long time ago, it's like just graduated high school, I was word vomiting, which when am I not? And so I was like talking about my grandma, and we were just sitting in this car, and while I was like literally mid-sentence about talking about my grandma, the guy like leaned across the car, and I was like, oh, so anyways, my grandma, and then we started making out, like, and literally the last thing I said was like something about my grandma. So
He's
first
just really
kiss.
into grandmas.
Yeah. He's like, I'm so turned on right now about this grandma.
I know. And then we were like out past curfew or whatever, because I live in an uppity little nosy piece of shithole. Sorry. And so the cops came and they were like, what are you guys doing here? And I was like, we're literally just talking
About my grandma.
He had just fingered me. But anyways, the cop was like, sir, get out of the car, because he was older than me. He was like in college, and then he also had an out-of-state ID because he like wasn't, I mean, his parents moved anyways, blah blah blah. So like it was so stressful. And the cop actually came over to my side of the car when the other, like, there were two cops when they were talking to this guy, and they were like, are you okay? Like, are you safe
like
right
they
now?
ever
And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, we just went to Swenson's and we're just talking because I don't want to go home to my parents. Like, everything's fine. He's a good guy. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, go home.
God, way to ruin the mood, cops.
I know. Luckily, though, we had sex in a different parking lot, and they didn't come there.
But you did.
Yeah. I literally opened my mouth to say that, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. But you read my mind. God, I hope no one from my family listens.
Oh my God. Amazing. I love this episode so far. The tangents in here are just so great.
Out of the world. This world. Any world.
Oh my God.
Where are
So morning again.
We don't get a world name for this. It's
Really,
just the kingdoms.
It is just the
Well,
kingdoms.
there's no world building.
Yeah,
Go on.
whatever. Aric turns into a horse, and the Gilded Guards show up, and they seize Bianca.
I can't believe you're skipping the scene
I
where
know.
Tatiana is like talking about how they're going to turn Aric into a mini horse,
Yeah.
because I was ready to sing Timothy Chalamet's
I'm
Tiny
sorry.
Horse song from
I'm
SNL.
sorry. I didn't put it in there because I was just like, why the fuck are we talking about
Nothing.
this?
It's just
It just-
another
It just came out of nowhere in the
zany
book.
little piece where you're like,
Yeah.
it could have been so fun.
It could have been cute. And one of the reasons I cut it out entirely was because I was just like, why are we even having this conversation?
Nothing.
I
There he is.
love miniature horses. I used to live at one point in Amish country, and they would, I don't know if they like train the kids on them or what, but usually like the kids would have a mini horse that could pull like a little wagon
Yeah.
that they would ride in.
That's
and those
cute.
horses would just tear ass down the road.
yeah.
Their little
Yeah.
legs going so fast.
I just want to say that when they were talking about this in the book, I didn't actually picture a real mini horse like the smaller than pony ones. I thought of like, again,
Like a big horse, but tiny.
the Timothy Chalamet thing from SNL, which is like a minuscule like tiny horse.
And you put in a pocket. Why not?
Yeah, he does.
I would do
He
it.
takes it out. I'm pretty sure he takes it out. I'm going to send you guys the clip, and I'm
Have-
going to link it in the show notes. I
Have
need
you
to
ever seen
remember.
those like what era of history? I don't know. Those like ancient early ancestors of horses that were like this big.
Uh-huh,
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Prehistoric
adorable.
horses.
Yeah, prehistoric. That's the word I was
were
thinking of.
little. They're teeny tiny.
Yeah.
They were like purse horses.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And they're one of the few like animals that have gotten bigger over time rather than smaller.
I want one.
Yeah, them in Wales, really.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't understand why. At least I don't.
Giraffes.
I'm sure some biologist knows, but in any
Yeah.
case.
Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments.
Biologists out there, please tell
Why
me.
horses so big?
Why are they big? What happened there? Tatiana and Aric tell her to run for the Damarian border because Gildan guards won't follow her over it. This is her duty. And she's like, oh, duty. I should do my duty. So she makes a break for it.
Yeah, cops never go where they're not supposed to
Absolutely
be.
not. They would never dream. But when she's almost there, she realizes this is too easy and returns to the inn.
What? I hated that logic so much.
I know. She's just like, no one's following me.
Also,
this is
she
dumb.
was like, I've been running for hours. I should probably turn around.
And then she's like literally right there, though. She didn't actually go that far.
The timeline for this is nuts.
Because then she's just like, man, time is weird. I'm like, it is. It is,
you're
Bianca.
Right, girl. You're right.
She discovers that the guards took Tatiana, mistaking her for Bianca. They sold the horse to a merchant, and Bianca goes through Tatiana's overturned room and finds nothing helpful. So this is her big whoa, everything sucks moment. She's deep in her feels about it, but then she finds the spittoon and has a sudden emotional upswing. Hurrah, we can do it. She's got to break Aric out of the horse jail, though, so she finds the merchant and threatens him with a poker. Then she's forced to beat the shit out of him, and she frees Aric, and they ride hard yet again to Arnhelm.
Honestly, she's really just out here living the dream, like a justified beating of a man. I'll probably have to cut that out.
No, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. Like
he beat that horse Aric.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it because I mean, this horse market was filthy for one thing. It was abusive for another thing. He had Aric tied up with a rope halter, which regular halters are designed to break with enough pressure, but rope won't. So with horse strength, Aric could have easily severed his spine.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Again, horses are a poor design.
The horses are ridiculous.
Yeah, somewhere in this book, she says that horses are like big things made out of glass. I was like, oh, I don't think I realized that.
They are. Yeah, they're accident-prone animals. And the ones...
Me too.
Again, I'm not a biologist. I can't explain this properly, but basically the way that horses evolved with their limbs is that their legs are fingers.
Ew.
Yeah, so they're just like walking around like
so
this.
Much.
Yeah, they're walking around on like one toe.
That's why they're so like unstable.
And then on top of that, their digestive system is fucked. So
yeah, they
like,
can't throw up.
They can't throw up. So if they
I did know that.
Even like a little bit of a tummy upset, they can easily die. It's something like the horses. What is it? I think it's like almost 20% of horses will die of colic.
What?
It's a crazy figure. I can't remember exactly, but it's unusually high.
Wow.
So once they stop and Aric transforms back into a man, Bianca tells him that she came back for him. And he's like, why? I'm so weak. And she's like, shut up about that already. And Aric tells her that he might have a plan about the curse. He thinks they can use the coronation to undo the curse because the crown is a powerful, I don't know, totem blood magic thing. If Tatiana...
Magical artifact.
Yeah. There you go. Magical artifact.
Thing.
Thing. If Tatiana crowns him, she could use his blood and the crown to unravel the curse. He's like, but it has to happen at dawn. And Bianca pulls out the spittoon, ready to go. So they spittoon their way to Arnhelm, and then they all throw up because it sounds like the absolute worst way to travel.
As a human, because again, he can't throw up as a horse.
Yes. He's a human right now, so you can throw up. Thank God he didn't do it as a horse because he would die.
Yeah.
This spittoon reminds me of what's that shit that they use to travel with in Harry Potter, Emma?
Well, the way that they describe it is similar to a port key, which is you
that's what I was trying to think of. Port key.
Yeah, you touch the magical object. Usually, it's like at a specific time, and then you go somewhere because they pick up the spittoon and walk with it.
Yeah.
Or there's like also apparition, which is like winnowing, where like you take a step and then you're somewhere else, which is what I thought was going to happen because, and just to continue down this nerd talk, the 7 league boots are actually a silly little item from Howl's Moving Castle, the book, not the movie, where Sophie and Markle use them to get to Howl. But they each have to wear one boot because you have to walk in them. Except Sophie's like an old woman, so she keeps losing her balance because she's walking on one foot, and so she keeps like taking an extra step to move forward, and then she's like too far forward, then she has to walk backwards, and she has to go back, and just feels a little familiar.
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
It does. It's almost exactly what happened here.
Yeah, same distance too. They're called 7 league boots. I don't know.
Interesting.
Whatever.
So they get into the castle via a trap door. They go to a dungeon and get Bianca's people out with blood magic, and they also release Maria.
Just flinging blood around everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's just so like gotta just bleed ourselves, and so.
But it's just a little pin prick.
It is. You don't need that much. Anyway, we have our team together now, so we can get this climax underway. Bianca explains the plan to everyone. Yes, I know. Funny.
Sorry.
Catalina asks if they can get more reinforcements from Depaz, but Bianca suspects he has betrayed them. They decide they can use Aric's personal guards to help, but Aric's like, focus, y'all, this isn't going to be a fight. We just need the crown and Tatiana and me in the same room. Apparently the crown is held in a separate room, and the ritual making him king is held in private before the meet and greet, which I don't think happens in real life. What are coronations for otherwise?
I don't know.
I do know that there is a secret non-public part of the British coronation, where the to-be ruler gets anointed with holy oil by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Divine right of kings and all that.
Insufferable.
Big eye roll.
So the plan is for Bianca to distract Varen and the aristocracy before he can get in the room with the crown. Aric and company will steal the crown and meet Tatiana in her carriage that is on its way to Arnhelm. Bianca calls Varen a usurper. That's how she gets his attention. Varen is like, yeah, but Aric is dead, so what do you want us to do? She says he is not dead, despite you trying to kill him. And everyone's like, what? Varen whispers in her ear that maybe she should shut up if she doesn't want harm to come to Tatiana. So now her plan is kind of in tatters. He has Tatiana, and he tells her to acknowledge him or be thrown in jail for the murder of her husband. Before she can do that, guards burst in with Aric and Catalina, saying that they were in his chambers trying to steal the crown like he anticipated.
Oh no, it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, how could we have seen this coming?
Yeah.
Varen tells everyone to get out except the guards. Depaz stays, and Varen tells them that when he lets everyone back in, Aric will admit he killed his mom. He'll renounce his claim to the throne, and then he'll be executed. And Bianca will sign a revised treaty and marry him. Ha, 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 ha. And Aric's like, dude, no. What do you even think you're doing here? This is weak, pathetic. And Varen says, well, I could just kill you now. And Aric says, everyone knows I'm here. Wouldn't that be kind of obvious what's up? And so Varen says, you're going to be executed anyway. Why are you being such a bitch? So Aric says, because I love Bianca and I'm protecting her.
This is all a very terrible plan on Varen's part.
Yeah.
First of all, you could have asked your brother to step down without also having him admit that he killed his mom.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that would be an easier get for Varen, you know? Mm-hmm. Also, the court has already seen that Aric is alive. And it's not like murdering the would-be ruler or something that never happens, but it really does not set you up for success in the future.
Yeah, it's gonna fail. But yeah, hard to agree. I was also like, you literally have all of your guards present here too, and you're just gonna assume that none of them are gonna talk. Like, this is gonna be all over the place in a matter of moments.
Yeah, he's real stupid. Varen is doing a huge Doofenshmirtz here to throw back to another Disney Channel child show. He's just like giving his dumb evil speech as if Perry the Platypus is not about to foil that plan in like 2 seconds.
So Bianca asks for a private word with Depaz, and she asks him essentially what the fuck he's doing. And he's like, I am totally loyal to House Liliana, and I definitely didn't want you to get the blame for all of this. My operative should have waited for a better moment to kill your husband. He for sure sent the assassin on House Liliana's orders, basically. Mm-hmm. And he says it was all supposed to be blamed on some boring countess. I don't even know her name. But Varen is more impetuous than, quote, we, unquote, realized. So Bianca has total confirmation now that her parents were in on this whole thing, and she fires Depaz on the spot.
I'm sorry. Why was she allowed to have like a private audience with him while all of this is going on?
Yeah.
Everyone is like yelling in the background and she's like, sorry to interrupt, but I need to have a word with him. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like standing off to the side whispering while the rest of the characters are just watching. Like, yeah, they're just waiting.
They all
just
stop.
Like, oh, what do you think?
They stop what they're doing. Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, and this guy just like accepts that he's fired. He's like, no, you're right. That was wrong. Bye.
Yeah.
And runs away. And like, up to this point, like, it seems like Varen still might win. Like, why would you leave? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, make it make sense.
Yeah.
Rhetorical question.
Yeah, I know. So Bianca goes back to Varen and proposes an alternate solution. Release her guards, send them and Tatiana back to Temeria. Aric will make his confession but won't be executed, and then she'll marry Varen. He agrees. Then Tatiana walks in with the crown, just like willy-nilly, like, hey, I got this, guys. And she also seems to be drunk. Everything goes insane, and they all start fighting. Before they can get the crown on Aric, dawn breaks, and he turns into a horse. whoa, they are too late. But everyone's like, what the fuck? At the horse, there's a horse here. So Varen starts shouting, but starts croaking instead because Tatiana has cursed him to croak. So that's fun. Aric and Bianca are like, we love each other and this is awful. Let's go be emo together, until Maria's like, it's still dawn, so let's not be idiots here. There's still time. So Bianca cuts her hand, gets some blood on the crown, and plops it on Aric's horse head. He is now king, and everything explodes into light. Aric is transformed back into a man.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, so let's settle down. Everyone gets to go back into the room. The appropriate parties are imprisoned. Tatiana is eyeing Maria and will become the new ambassador to Gildenheim to replace the Paz. Then they go take a nap, basically. Later, Bianca wakes up to Giulietta penning a resignation letter, like right there in her room for some reason. She is the assassin. Apparently, Bianca's parents made her whip up a poison, and this is how Aric's mom died. Bianca's parents are real assholes this way. Mm-hmm. So then they blackmailed her into being the assassin, and Giulietta thought Aric would be cruel, so she went along with it, and then Bianca forgives her.
I am okay with Bianca forgiving her for this. Like, fine, I can see that. But letting her work for her again was too much for me. And also her tonics were shitty to boot. Just let Giulietta start a new life elsewhere and get yourself a green witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree. I thought her tonics were terrible. Like, were they doing anything?
Right.
Just ask the green witch to send more peppermints and let Giulietta go home. Also, why is she writing a letter of resignation in Bianca's room? That makes no sense to me if she didn't want to get caught.
Maybe she didn't have a pen. But I'm glad you all thought it was weird that she was like working for Bianca again. She was like, don't worry, Aric will trust you. What? Like, I thought I was the only one who thought that was stupid.
That wouldn't have made sense. Nope. Just go home. I thought, doesn't she have like a daughter or something too?
Also, like I said, her potions are shitty. They weren't working.
It doesn't make any sense why she's even here. So the next day, Varen is sentenced to exile and can only croak like a frog now, so there's nothing he can say to defend himself. Good. They give him the spittoon, and he steps off into the unknown before a guard can go with him to get the spittoon back. So the spittoon is lost, but Tatiana is like, he was aiming at the sea, so
he's dead?
Presumably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then it ends with Aric asking Bianca if she wants to be his wife forever and always, and she says yes.
But like, I thought they already had that conversation.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, they
twice
basically did.
now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, do you still want me even though I'm not a horse?
I think this was like he had told her before, this is your choice. You can choose whether or not you want to be with me. So then they're like, this is like full circle. Now you've basically chosen. Yay.
Third time's the charm, I guess.
Yeah, it is. So in the acknowledgements, the author says that she has celiac disease, which is what Bianca's condition is mirrored on.
Which, now thinking about it, they do like basically only mention bread. Like, oh, I'm eating. Oh, I had 2 rolls and soup. And then, oh my God, I feel sick. So like now it's checking out now. Mm-hmm. The only time I think she doesn't is when she has stew or something right before they fuck when she's injured the first time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, where's that bowl? It was just on her lap, and now you guys are fucking. Where did it go? You have stew all over you. They put it to
when
the
I
side.
lived overseas, one of the people I worked with had celiac disease, and they would do a lot of like stews, sauces kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they were mostly, vegetable based. But one of the things they liked to do was like take really, really thin pasta, like angel hair or even thinner, and break it up into teeny tiny bits and put it in the sauce. So multiple times this friend of mine would like start eating and be like, motherfucker, there's pasta in here. And then be like sick for a couple days.
Yeah.
All right. So let's wrap this up. I, for the most part, enjoyed this. I read it all, which is like pretty good for me.
You had to.
I mean, I had to, but like I didn't skim any of it. Yeah. Like,
no, I'm just kidding.
I think it was refreshing having a male love interest not be super tall, dark, and handsome, brooding, growler of a man, or an asshole, which is basically all we read here. So those things were refreshing. The book felt a little YA to me, with the familial duty and strength themes, but not so much that it made the sex weird. So thank fucking God for that. A part of me struggled with the book's tone. Did it want to be slapstick and silly, or did it want to be serious? It would like go back and forth a lot, and it didn't make it easy to settle in. I think that's basically because we were so deep in Bianca's feels all the time. Because again, it was very, very focused on her self-actualization. Yeah. But whatever. Also, I think the thing that mostly annoyed me about this was the unresolved plot with her condition and with Demaria. Like, are they just going to accept the fact that Demaria basically committed regicide? Like, what are we doing here? But okay, whatever. I did not really read the book for that plot. This is a book about a male love interest who turned into a horse a lot. And I think that's neat. Yeah. So for the most part, I enjoyed this.
As I've said throughout, I really thought this was going to be zanier. You know, you hear man turns into a horse and you expect certain things. There were several plot points that never seemed to go anywhere, like I said, with her illness and whatnot. I personally prefer like way more world building than this. It's probably become very obvious throughout this podcast. I'd really like to know more about the magic system. I also agree that this seemed like a YA book with a grudging sex scene in it, but at least the sex scene was not as jarring as the one in Lore of the Wilds.
Yeah.
So I've read worse.
Yeah, I completely agree with you both. The tone of this book was weird. Like, I definitely wanted it to be funnier, but also the book wanted Bianca to just be like so serious all the time. Like, she doesn't have one chill bone in her body. I mean, do I? No. But I don't know. I think that kind of ruined the book for me. Like, we're in a very unserious situation and she's like, girl, just like relax. I don't know. It's not that I found her unlikable. She's just insufferable. So I don't know.
Well, like I said, it's a weird story to have the female lead do a lot of self-actualization.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he turned into a horse.
Yeah.
This is about him and what he's going through.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really talk about how he feels about that at all.
We think about this. You're just kind of there on this ride.
Right.
Yeah, you accidentally caused it to happen. But also,
it's kind
your
of like
needs
your
are not
fault.
as important now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to care about your trauma with your parents when this man is like...
I don't care that you're not strong. This man is literally carrying you on
this
his
man,
literal back.
Yeah, you're riding on this man's back. He's talking to you psychically, and he's like, oh no, I just shit.
Yeah.
While I was walking.
Can you look away while I poop,
it was awful.
Yeah. Again, insufferable. It's no secret I don't love YA, like, as an adult. I don't know. I found her, like, way of thinking, her logic, like, quite shallow. Like, at the beginning when she was like, oh my God, he hates me. Like, bitch, he's got work to do. Like, I don't know. It's just the way that teenagers think.
And she was 25.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I went back and looked up when her and Catalina made out, because earlier in the book they were like, we kissed 10 years ago. And I was like, okay. So 10 years ago, you've not said how old you are yet at this point. So like,
were
11?
You 8?
Yeah. How old were you? Later on, she just said they made out when she was like 16. I was like, okay, fine. I don't know. Like, she's just whining about dumb shit all the time. Like, you know, he won't come meet me at the dock. Like, a bit rich for a woman who's always going on about like duty with her family and her country. Like, he's literally about to be the king. This is a political marriage. Like, just relax, okay? Yeah. I did appreciate the dynamic flip though. Like, he's very soft boy, and Bianca has some like characteristics that I think most of these male leads that we've read have. Like, she's rude. But I found her lack of confidence just hard to get over. Like, you can't be doing all this shit and then be like, oh,
I'm not strong.
I hit that guy with my rapier, but I didn't kill him fast enough. Sorry, everybody. Like, get over it. Like, you're really dramatic. It makes sense in the story. I do understand. It just wasn't for me.
So who are we?
I really didn't identify with much of anyone in this book.
Well, there's no one in this book except for Aric, the horse.
Yeah. Are you a horse or are you not?
Yeah. I would say I'm probably the Green Witch. Like, I'm just trying to do my job here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not really Tatiana-ish, but when she said she's a dabbler, that really spoke to me. And that's as far as I'm willing to go there.
Yeah, so. I'm going to copy you as well. I'm going to say I'm Tatiana. I don't know if that's allowed, that we can have the same one.
Of course it's allowed.
No rules.
We have no rules.
Well, it's never happened until now, so. I don't know. I feel like I have a sister, and she is like the competent one and like who understands family duty. And I'm like, do I have to go to that party for my grandma who's turning 98 or whatever? I'm a bitch, really.
It's like, do you even know your grandma?
Yeah. I mean, I was talking about her before I made out. She's obviously important.
I was
to
going to say,
me.
is that the same one you talked about before you had sex?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that wasn't. No. Yeah, the sex in the parking lot was a different day. Anyways,
I would count fingering as sex.
Yeah, sure. But really, I'm like Tatiana because I'm in the corner making inappropriate jokes and asking people if they fucked their horse. Their what?
Horse husband.
Yeah, no, she did though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she did. She did ask.
make that joke, and I
Did
would
you?
have asked. I made multiple jokes about it already. So
I mean, I've already went on at length about whether or not he poops in front of her.
yeah. What if I did have this thought too? Like, what if he was like, could tell that she wasn't wearing panties when she was sitting on him, and he got like a boner?
Yeah.
Yeah, they never talk about any horse boners in this.
They don't talk about horse penises, and I
Again,
am
this
upset
really
about
needed
it.
to be silly.
Because listen,
Yes.
male horses love showing off their penis.
Yeah,
It's out constantly.
I know that one TikTok video. There's so many, and I'm like, get that out of here.
So yeah, at some point he should have dropped his penis. Also,
I hate that that's the phrase for it.
also yes, as
Do
a
they itch
horse,
their-
he could feel her vagina on his
Yeah.
back.
Do they itch their bellies like with their wiener?
They can, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he would have done that.
I mean, if you're a horse, why wouldn't you try at least?
Well, that's what I mean.
There's
this
so
should have
much I
been.
would have tried.
That's why, like I
That
said, this
sounds
would have
terrible,
been.
but like, you know what I mean?
This
Go
would have
ahead,
been
sorry.
funnier. Like if she had to, I don't know, like
Jerk him as a horse. I'm just kidding.
not that far. Had to like undress by the side of the road for some reason, like to bathe when he was
Yeah.
still in his horse form, and then like he
God.
got a horse erection. He's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing.
It would have. Yes,
What
it
if-
should have been so much funnier.
It could have been something like she had to clean a sheath or something. Can you imagine?
What is that?
It's when you have to, like, you know how horses draw the penis up into a sheath. That's sort of
Oh, okay,
dangles.
okay, yeah.
With horses, you have to clean that. Otherwise, they'll get inflamed.
These
and-
That's gonna be
Animals
poor
sound
design.
awful. Yeah.
Well, horses are not designed well. We've discovered that.
We just keep like making them suffer.
Poor animals.
Humans
So
are evil. Sorry.
the moral of the story.
This is how I feel about brachycephalic dogs. Yeah, I said it.
What is that? What is
The
that?
dogs with the short
Frenchies,
faces.
Oh.
the
Yeah.
Frenchie obsession.
Ew, they're
It's
so-
not good for the
Ugh,
dogs.
do you know you have to like you have to inseminate Frenchies and they have to get C-sections?
And,
Yes.
yeah. I believe we've talked about that once
they
before.
can't do anything naturally.
No.
They're,
Yeah.
Sick.
Sorry, guys, everyone who likes the Frenchie, but
Yeah, everyone who
don't
likes
get it. I'm
short-faced dogs
sorry.
and horses, I guess. You got to live with the choices you make.
Listen, one of my trainers
Maura.
has
I'm
2
just kidding.
Frenchies, so not only am I, with the
that
horses,
checks
there
out.
are Frenchies
That
there
checks
too.
out. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
All of these sad animals just doing our bidding. So, all right, if you have a hot take or book you'd like us to recap, you can message us on our socials. You can find the links on our show notes. If you like us, please rate us and leave reviews. That makes us so happy. So until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.